And the start date is 60231. The starting amount of threat is currently 3.
GM has to try and kill me again.
It's a good thing about being GM. He doesn't have to try. He can just do it.
Yeah, he has enough threat right now. He can drop rocks and kill you outright, but...
Counselor Asa.
Yes.
You wake up in your bed, in your quarters.
That's where I usually wake up.
What do you do?
Okay, what time is it? Like 7 o'clock-ish?
About 0700, yeah.
All right. I will probably get up, go into the bathroom and, take a shower and get ready, and then probably head down to the mess deck and have a coffee and breakfast before I start my day.
So you head off to the mess. Got it. Ryloff.
Yeah.
You wake up in your bed.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Duty shift or no?
It's about 0700. You should have Alpha Shift.
Right. Well, that's probably eat something quickly here and then go to the bridge.
You head off to the bridge. Got it. Arlen. You wake up in your bed.
How long is it till shift?
You're due at 0800. You're due in about an hour.
Yolan, come here. I want to snuggle. I don't want to go to work.
You kind of roll around, and Yolan is up early. Oh, that's right. There was some lecture he wanted to catch early. You heard him move around sometime about maybe 15 minutes ago, and you're like, huh? Oh, sleep time.
Is he like sitting on a desk or something?
Oh no, he left. He went off to catch
okay.
to catch the lecture.
All right. I stretch, get dressed. I'm gonna grab like fruit and protein bar and coffee from the replicator, and I'm gonna head to the bridge.
Off to the bridge you go, you bloody keener.
And before I leave, I'm gonna like send Angelina like a quick text message. Hey, I'm up. I love you. Just that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Then I know I actually got to work on time.
Cadet Ven.
Yes.
You're sitting across from Dr. Lazos in the mess hall when Counselor Asa steps in. Well, one of the various mess halls, but this is the most popular one. Has the nicest view, nicest carpets.
Mm-hmm. were we like talking about anything in particular, or?
What were you talking about?
Um,
It's probably about 07:30. It's pretty early.
I'm in. I was just encouraging Vin to be more. To put forward more ideas into his next paper. It felt the last one felt like you could have explored more.
Mm. Yeah. Um, I probably should have expounded on this particular theorem in particular. Um, in fact, now that I look at it, I probably should have, but I was probably gonna base that on the works of Doctors Landstrom, and man, I just ran out of time to read his paper, so I couldn't include it in my analysis.
Generally, one starts to plan out the next few weeks and months when one gets into quantum waveforms. It's not something you dip lightly into.
Yeah, right. Well,
Uh,
I'll note that for next time.
I will step forward and order a black coffee with some oatmeal porridge.
Any particular oaths, counselor? As the person takes the order.
Um, whatever oats you have.
Okay. We'll bring it straight over to you, counselor.
I will nod and begin to walk over this way and then to over here.
Eventually, when the servers comes over, brings over your order, smiles and nods at you. As I'm getting the feeling this is a order the counselor normally gets in their
Mhm.
mornings.
Yes, I will say thank you, dear. And, you know, I will eat while pulling up a pad and, scrolling through the news.
Give me reason plus con, difficulty of 2, assisted by the computers plus con, to see if you find anything insightful in the news other than the latest box scores of some dumb jot tournament or what have you.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the most important section of the newspaper.
Hey, it's the funnies that are where it's at. You get holographic stickers if you read them enough.
Ooh.
I have no idea what happened, but I was trying to grab the scroll bar to scroll down to open my character sheet, and it completely booted me out of Roll20. So hold on one second.
Oh dear.
Roll 20 is conspiring with me.
Here we go.
More concerned by the fact that you've taken 18 out of 21 threat.
All right, you said control con?
Reason.
Reason con. All right. All right. I'm not gonna have a focus in this, so I will. I'm not gonna go crazy. I will give you one threat.
Okay. Start gossiping with some people to learn more. Hey, gain a momentum.
Nice.
According to the current news, there has been a marked increase in visions of strange and otherworldly places. What is being dubbed by Dr. Efrix, the chief medical officer for the Shackleton Theater, as hyperspace vision syndrome.
Hyperspace vision syndrome. Okay. Do I reading this, does she come across as like a quack, or does this sound like believable science?
It's very believable science, and
Okay.
she even starts quoting back to other missions she's had where she didn't realize she was encountering hyperspace, but it was in fact that's what it was, and that's starting to rebound forward into the current spat of visions where people are seeing divine beings or angels or prophets, but it's not actual encounters, or maybe it is. But the problem with the syndrome is that it's the fact that it's very uncontrolled and you tend to just fall into it, which is very bad because most Starfleet officers tend to need to be aware of their position in real space, not in hyperspace. That's not terribly useful to them on a day to day basis, especially when it's just randomly happening to them. The cause of the increase, all that's known is it's environmental. Something in the Shackleton's doing it, um, or some things, perhaps a multiple things, but the exact cause of it is unaware. And then there's various other writings from other doctors across the fleet, and both counselors and medical doctors who are trying to figure out what they do. Like some ships put up psi shields, the myth psionic shield, but that doesn't always work. Um, Others have tried various psilocybin suppressing drugs to try to limit people's empathy and connection, but that tends to make you a little cold. On and on and on and on.
All right. Um,
But that's the big scary in the medical community, and that's something you learn because you're a counselor and you're kind of looped in. Your average officer doesn't
mhm,
know about the syndrome.
right. Okay. Um, I will forward this to the chief medical officer and set and I don't think she's here yet, so it probably won't come up today, but I will ask her what she thinks we should do about this problem.
Yeah, one of her assistants lets you know that she'll have a word later today. She's busy preparing for the mission ahead.
Hmm. Um, I think around this time, I will probably finish my porridge and take my coffee and step over and just Cadet Ven, I just wanted to compliment you for your work on the last mission saving those civilians. You did a very good job.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it.
You are welcome. And I will nod and continue onwards.
To the bridge we go. As Lieutenant Ryloff and Lieutenant Arlen step onto the bridge.
Blink, blink.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Uh, uh,
Okay.
Ah, shit, I was like, I'm muted. When did this happen?
No, when did what happen?
You being the captain.
Since we left Narendra Station, are you all right, Lieutenant?
Hmm. Might have just been a strange dream then.
Commander Penn, do you step onto the bridge?
I certainly do. Lieutenant, you okay?
Commander.
I'll head over to my station. Any updates I need to be aware of?
Ah, reason plus command. Difficulty 2, assisted by computers plus command.
I'll give you a threat. So, uh, strategy and tactics. I don't know exactly what I'm reading.
I'll take that focus, sure.
I'll first reroll. Ship is
Looks like
computers command.
3 so far. 4 momentum. According to the updates across various departments, you, as a command officer, are made aware of the hyperspace vision syndrome alert, medical alert. It's a thing that's not being. There's Dr. Efrix hasn't really put a big stamp of "don't tell anyone," but no one's in a rush to cause a panic throughout the fleet. But it is a problem that medical's looking into, and they're trying to find various ways to deal with it. So the big recommendation they're shooting at command officers on ships is to be aware of the situation, understand that some of your crew may have a tendency, may exhibit signs of what may be perceived as spacing out or inattentiveness. That may be a hyperspace. That may be just good old fashioned inattentiveness or lack of sleep, or it could be hyperspace vision syndrome. So take that into consideration when you're observing your officers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Is there anything that piques my interest right now? Either those
the
around
big
me or
thing-
myself?
Well, no one in the room seems to be having that issue at the moment. Rylov seems to be, and Arlen both seem a little distracted. They're not spacing out; they are doing their jobs, but you can see they're kind of looking around their surroundings a little extra longer than they really need to. Like they're not sure of what's going on. But then they get back to what they're doing. The other thing to note in that file is you're approaching the Alcara system. Various long-range scans have indicated that the cloud that you've been penetrating very slowly hasn't affected ship systems too much. There has been some power drain here or there, but nothing Lieutenant Arlen hasn't been able to handle. Otherwise, ship's at yellow alert because you're going through a navigational hazard. Technically, it could be a blue alert, but Captain Jaishu is being a little cautious given the, well, unprecedented nature of the anomaly.
Considering Penn has had his mind messed with in the past, does anything seem off to him?
Does anything seem off to him?
I mean, there's a
Little.
clear one.
What's that?
He seems to have been demoted.
Huh, that is weird, isn't it?
It is.
It seems you are aware something's wrong.
I pinch myself. Am I awake?
Ow, you just pinched yourself. Take 1 stress.
I deserve that.
Is the Admiral still on board?
Do you think that, or are you asking that out loud?
Both.
You tell me, was he on the ship? You don't see him.
That's-
And both out loud, Captain Jaishu kind of looks up at you from the pad she's reading. No, Admiral Grennan isn't coming along, much as he really insisted he should, but right now it's best that we approach this planet with caution. No sense in endangering a flag officer for what could be a nothing visit.
And I'm
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
The verification protocols of, I'm remembering things different, so let's go through and verify against what this ship currently says happens.
yeah.
Uh,
I'd probably ask the security to do that.
Oh, no, Ryloff's just doing that already. And
you start making the order and you see him already in those motions. Ryloff, give me reason plus security, difficulty of 2, assisted by computers plus security. Arlen, reason plus engineering, assisted by computers plus engineering. Div 2.
Mhm. Paranoid. Paranoid I am.
I will increase your comp range, but the focus would apply.
I was meaning the trait that I have.
Yeah, the trait's increasing your comp range, but I'm saying the focus does apply.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Unless you want to use a different focus, which will give you different answers, but
Investigative techniques.
yeah, I could see that.
He simply is paranoid right now. He's not letting the paranoid control the situation.
Yeah.
um. You'll tell me if constantly watching comes into play, which is
Yep, it does.
it does. Great. Okay, let's set a diff 1. Have a threat just because.
Sure.
That's computer security.
I should. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we made 3 momentum off that.
According to all ship systems, weapons and shields are in fact operational and at full readiness. And your codes work perfectly fine. No one's hacked the system or anything like that. But last you recall, you were helping with the disaster on Alcara and helping coordinate massive casualty reports and moving of people and making sure the right people got what they needed and keeping peace in the cities and coordination, so on and so on. None of that is on the record. You haven't got, as according to the computer, you haven't gotten to Alcara yet.
So.
And also note that according to the computer, it is stardate 60231. Last you remember, it was around 232.5. And you arrived there at 230. Well, between 230 to 29.
Okay. Any discernible differences in terms of, okay, this pull up a fucking manifest on our torpedoes and already the serial number is different than what would be recalled. Like small things like that, which might be different if this is something else entirely.
I'll take the momentum. One thing I'll note is you haven't fired a single one of your torpedoes or any of your probes, because that was you basically emptied out your entire complement to kind of achieve that defensive grid you guys did. Yeah, they're all accounted for. They're all here, and they match the appropriate serial numbers they should have. Which you are the kind of paranoid Romulan that would keep that sort of thing in, memorized, but you know.
Yes, I am. any notable personnel changes aside from the obvious that are
Um, the ship does not recall any Admiral Trailblazer being aboard the ship. He was never aboard.
okay?
Though one thing that does strike you as a little odd, there's a Dr. Lazos was brought aboard back at Narendra because of the Alcara mission. So it was on Trailblazer's like invite to pull him in off of whatever else he was doing to get him on the Achilles to help with missions down the line.
Mm-hmm.
According to this, it looks like Admiral Grennan assigned him here. Like Dr. Lazarus applied for working on a starship, and then they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, we have a slot open on the Achilles. Do you want to go there?" And off he went. So that clashes completely with how you remember history.
Yeah, fun. Okay. We've got Arlen to go. He can do his role. Because that's the second momentum that I just spent. So
Arlen, would you like to do a system analysis?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go over the computers, I guess.
Region engineering, difficulty 2, assisted by ship's computers plus engineering.
Technical insight.
I suppose so.
Indecisive trait.
Doesn't apply here. Especially in the negative, it's like nah.
I know my ship.
That would apply.
All right. One momentum, one threat for a 4th dice. Bold reroll.
So gained 2 momentum. The ship seems to be running in proper working order. The ship is under some strain because it is passing through the hyperspace particle barrier that surrounds the Alcara system. So the shields are reinforced. A lot of spare energy is being poured into structural integrity and the shield system. While still maintaining a good amount of power in the engines, so you can very slowly move through the barrier without upsetting anything. Currently, weapons are powered. All the excess power from weapons is being pulled over. And for Rylov, just as a heads up, that would be normal if you're trying to move through a hazard at a slow speed, and you're more worried about your shields working than your phasers working.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise, the computer's fine. Nothing's wrong with the computer.
Except for the start date doesn't match what I last remember.
Yeah, but that's something you know. The computer says, yeah, this is the start date. According to the ship chronometer, that is the current start date.
Can I double check? Does the ship show any signs of wear and tear and repairs after we previously passed through the hyperspace barrier? Or we got dinged up a little bit. Do we show signs of those repairs being made?
Spend momentum,
Yep.
and no. You're right to you didn't get any breaches, but you did get these nasty score marks across the hull. It's revealed the crystal under hull, as it were. The hull's fine. The shields have been working perfectly the last day or so. And no signs of the redlining you did or anything like that, because that does do a bit of wear and tear. That's a little more subtle. Most people wouldn't catch it, but you know that whenever you redline something, the service life of the parts you redline are shaved off by at least a few hours, if not days. Sometimes weeks if things go real bad. But you know,
Huh. Do I notice is Ryloff being suspicious or worrying about something?
That's the
I heard that he
inscrutable
was.
trait.
I would tell you yes. Unfortunately, Ryloff is paranoid. He always looks like that.
Yeah, Rylov
True.
also has the inscrutable trait.
And he's inscrutable, so he's paranoid. He could be paranoid about his breakfast he had today. You don't know.
He can be paranoid and hard to read.
That's a bad combination, man.
Great for a chief of
Yeah.
security. Is he actually onto me? Or is he just mad about the color yellow today? I don't know.
Yes.
Yes to both. Oh, okay. Yellow's a bad security for color. Yellow's bad color for security.
No, I'll stick with the first one.
Do you really want to be a red shirt again?
It's more
But it could just-
intimidating.
It's more intimidating. Or green, nice proud green. That's a good color.
Silver works.
Color of blood.
I was gonna say, of course the Romulan would.
Probably not gonna go my I way, but do I see anyone else on the bridge who is kind of questioning their reality, kind of double taking things.
Penn kind of seems that way a bit. Ryloff possibly is.
Or Ryloff is just us angry at his breakfast.
Yeah, who knows?
Has he ever been angry at his breakfast?
Someone could have poisoned it.
Paranoid about reasonable things.
Hey, poisoned breakfast is perfectly reasonable in Romulan Navy. You take that back. You don't know who's trying to get your job. Okay, not you, but if you're an officer, you'd be worried about your job.
I don't know. I feel like
Eggs.
the line between replicated food and poison is pretty thin, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Status update, Lieutenant Arlen, says Captain Joshi.
Everything's operational.
Very good.
As
Any
it
problems
should
with the
be.
shields?
Shields are operating as expected.
Very good, Ryloff. Thank you.
Captain, permission to be dismissed.
Are you okay?
Something's off, and I'd like to investigate it.
She waved you over to her chair.
I'll head across.
She kind of just leans in a bit so you're not... And she motions for you to whisper to her ear.
It might be the advisory we got, but I'm not thinking I'm from the same reality right now, so I'd like to explore that.
What a funny thing to say.
Commander, I want you to report to the counselor and get a psych eval.
Sure, why not? I'll leave the bridge.
Captain, if you don't mind, I'm going to head to engineering and monitor this plasma flow to the shield. It's higher than normal. I kind of want to be on site. I to monitor that.
Are you lying to her? Or is that genuinely what your character's doing?
Yes, I'm totally lying.
Okay, give me presence plus command opposed.
Oh, no.
Don't
swing for
worry.
presence-
I mean,
She'll
Swing
buy a
for
couple
presence,
dice.
you might. I might suggest you are you for insight command.
Or engineering, if you're just
Well,
used to big words.
it is like an
Presence-
interpersonal conflict, right? But
yeah, I kind of argue for presence engineering, for, or trying to come up with these technical details and things I need to monitor on site.
There's a talent that's in that same vein, like baffling briefing. You don't have
okay.
that. This is trying to trick your commanding officer into not questioning what you're doing.
I mean, can I ask a question? Is
Sure.
Arlen supposed to be on the bridge as chief engineer? Wouldn't his normal post be in engineering?
It could be on the bridge or engineering. The thing is, he
Okay.
didn't just say I'm going down to engineering. If that's all he said, she wouldn't have thought weird of it, or he could have just got up and walked out, and she wouldn't have said
Okay.
anything. But the fact
Okay.
that he made up a story, it's like, why did you tell me that?
Okay. Yeah, no, I understand you.
Fast thinker trait. I'm coming up with this on the spot.
I'll give you a free hit for that. Yeah, as you kind of suddenly realize, oh shoot, why did I say anything?
Kind of an odd angle here, but focus and sabotage.
I would have to say no, because I don't believe your goal is to sabotage the ship
Yet.
yet. Things could change.
Inverse of Starfleet protocols. You're not supposed to lie to your commanding officer, but I'm doing it now.
I'll take it as a focus more because you're trying to find out which protocols sound like they make sense and which ones wouldn't make sense.
Okay. Let's do 2 threat, 4 momentum. Let's go all in.
All right. Oh, he's just the captain of the ship. No biggie.
How did that work?
Get 4 momentum. Yeah, she totally believes you. Jashu's not terribly insightful. do. Poof.
And then I'm gonna see if I can catch pinned in the hallway, or intercept him in the hallway.
We'll have to see how that turns out.
Yes.
As a new scene starts, we go back to the lounge. Oh, you're not there anymore. Shoo.
I do want to ask a question.
Sure.
The counselor mentioned a mission where Vin saved lives of civilians. Am I
Yeah.
aware? Did he ever mention that?
Have you, Vin?
You repeat the question? Just I want to make sure I answer it like properly.
I'm trying to think if Dr. Lazarus has ever heard of you mention that you were on a mission that saved civilian lives. Like, have you ever brought that up in a... Or is it...
Probably
have you ever
not.
said you were late or you couldn't turn in a paper because of it?
I'd say no. Partially because up to this point it has never actually been a problem before. He's usually been able to keep on top of his work.
I believe that answers your question, Lazarus.
Yeah, Lazarus will just remark, you'll have to tell me about these heroics you're off doing. If nothing else, I haven't heard a student ever use saving lots of civilians as an excuse. It's normally stuff like my targ ate my homework.
You've heard that one before.
Yeah. And he had a growl and a scowl, and with the name of his house, I just assumed it was true and left it at that. I didn't want to find out if it wasn't true.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I've been getting pulled to go on all sorts of missions. I honestly don't know why I keep getting pulled. I mean, not like I'm the only person in the science department. And
Lazarus will kind of like, move some eggs around on a plate with a fork and say, well, if Krang, son of Vorcha, ever shows up on one of your missions, tell him he owes me 3 assignments.
I will. That's a really, really specific. That would be a really specific and odd set of circumstances, but I'll do that. Hmm. Anything else, sir?
Sir, I think Doctor would do, or Lazos.
Right, right.
I haven't
Um,
sunk in so low as to join Starfleet.
Ben looks down at his uniform.
Well, it's one place you can do a lot of good science. Not the best science, and you do get shot at a lot, but you can do some solid science here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think it was always in I think it was always in my blood. I mean, my my dad is stationed on Earth space dock. Uh, though he's not in the science department.
Oh, was it is it family business, or you go to one too many hollow adventures of the U.S.S. Defiant and its heroic missions, parts 1 through 5?
Little of column A, little of column B.
I never could get through the Gorn missions.
Yeah. Well, there's a knack to them.
Yeah, 4D platforming is not my thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's definitely one of those things. It's you gotta have the patience to try it a few times. Um, I heard Ven describe it to me as the Dark Souls of Hollow novels, whatever that
Wait,
means.
I'm confused. Aren't you Vin?
Sorry, Zeft.
Oh,
My fellow cadet Zeft once called it the Dark Souls of Hollow novels, whatever that means.
And then we look in on the mid bay. Counselor.
Yes.
Sorry, you sounded incredibly startled for a second.
I know.
You
Sorry.
yeah, you step into the medical bay. Well, the
Okay.
medical room, but
Yeah. Okay. Um, I will take another step forward and nod to oh, she's Bajoran, so it's specialist Deva.
I believe so. I didn't name her.
Okay.
I hope
Okay.
people got it right.
I will nod to specialist Deva and say what a wonderful morning. The prophets truly have blessed us. Um, before uh, slinking away to my office.
Counselor? Oh, counselor.
Uh, Yes, yes, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. She turns in her chair. It seems Commander Penda is coming down. Uh, the
I'm
captain
sorry.
just sent word.
Who's coming down?
The commander? Uh, Commander. Hold on. Brad Glove Pend. The
Right.
Tellarite.
Okay. Okay. I apologize. I
No,
have not been on the ship long. I must have misremembered them.
no,
Um,
all right, Commander.
um, did they give a reason for did they give a reason for his visit?
Just a request from the captain for a psych eval.
Right. Well,
Said is on
thank
his
you.
way. Whatever that's about.
Well, I will make the preparations. Uh, thank specialist.
She nods and continues working on various administrative duties because I mean it's not like there's a ton to do on the Achilles because it's a low medical ship, but there's stuff to do.
I mean, she can make herself busy.
Yeah, she's trying not to though. She
Hmm.
made specialist for a reason. Um,
I would like to sit down and because I remember Pend as being the captain, right?
do you?
Um, I think so.
All right,
Can I pull up Penn's record and see if he was like recently demoted or something? And I just wasn't
sure.
made aware.
Reason plus command difficulty 1. It's pretty easy to look up his file. You are a command officer, so it's not that hard to look this up. Computers plus command.
Right. Okay. Um, I really need like a digging up dirt focus, considering how often I do it. Um, um, not
Yellow
better.
journalism, anyway.
Yellow journal. We gonna stage an incident to go to war with Cuba?
I mean, Cuba, Cardassia,
Klingons, yeah, all same thing. All right, take a threat.
sure.
Oh, we had momentum. Well, oh, too late.
You can swap them. You haven't rolled yet. Oh, you did roll. Never mind. Well, gain a momentum anyway. No, he has been demoted. According to his file, he's a decorated officer. He's suffered, trauma to his left leg during his mission over Cowcat, which resulted in the requirement of a cybernetic leg. He's learned in nanite tactics, gateway travel tactics, according to the missions that have happened recently. He's a tried and tested officer. Uh, he has a quick draw to his pistoleering. Used to have a pistol, but he moved back to phasers. He has a reputation of being the Tiger of Narendra, this fearful officer that has a positive reputation throughout both Starfleet and outside of Starfleet. He has a commanding presence. He's a member of the Hoplite. He's the commander of the Hoplites, and he is the head. He is the head of Clan Shishir. Yeah, no reason for demotion. His reputation's stellar. Um,
Does it say how long he's been on the ship? How long he's been the commander?
of the Achilles, goodness, long time, very long time, for over 5 years. He was one of the architects of the Achilles. He helped build the thing in Tiger Squadron. So he's been the first commander and has been the last commander of it for over 5 years under Captain Jaishu.
great to know. I will record all of these in my logs, and well, I will deal with my own problems at a later point because someone else needs my help.
Commander Pend, you encounter. Oh well, correct me if I'm wrong, but were you actually heading to the medical bay?
I mean, I was going to make a quick stop there before doing something else entirely, but yeah.
Okay. You encounter Lieutenant Arlen, who kind of got the ship to tell him where you were. So finding a way to cross his path isn't all that hard. So you kind of encounter Arlen. Kind of approaches you just as you're outside the medical office.
Lieutenant?
Commander.
Sure, let's go with that.
Unless you dropped a pip this morning.
Apparently I didn't get run through the heart with a sword.
Okay. Yeah, something's going on here. Last time I remember we were on Alcara. Now we're back to approaching it, and Jasura is captain.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna do this little song and dance that's required of me. Then I'm going to see if I can figure out a way of why this is happening.
Okay. Well, I'm involved in this somehow. Do you want me to just play along?
No, you play along with whatever's happening, but try to reach out to Zeph. There seems to be a hyperspace issue advisory. See if he's seeing anything.
Okay.
But don't obviously let them know what's going on.
Will do.
Well, you have your orders. I get to play the mentally unstable commander now.
Play.
No, I'm the mentally unstable captain. I'm playing the mentally unstable commander. The statement was technically correct.
My mistake. Apologies.
Yeah, I'll start heading into the council's office.
Morning, Commander.
Morning, specialist. Is the councillor in?
Yes, she is.
Wonderful.
One moment, sir. She pings Aza. Commander Pend is here. Should I let him in?
Yes, thank you, specialist.
And you overhear that, so David just kind of gestures behind her and nods at you and gets back to work. Cadet Kobuk does try to approach you to brag at you a bit and talk himself up, but I imagine you're wise enough to just let him.
Yeah,
let him be.
I'll chime the door. Ding dong. Counselor.
Oh, Commander. It is so nice to see you. Please stay.
Oh yes, gladly.
So, what? Not that it's not nice to see you, but what brings you down here today?
Well, apparently, I'm not in the right time zone. I'm supposed to be a captain of the ship I helped create, and last thing I remember, I was being run through the heart with an Alcaran sword. So, little discrepancies.
You see, like like at the first, the counselor is trying to keep like the straight medical professional slight smile, and then as you talk, she just starts frowning more and more, and she's like, "Right." And uh, when did you come under these viewpoints, understanding?
Well, they've always been my understandings, and apparently this morning, my partner is now the captain of my ship.
Nepotism.
Right. Um. So Jaishu is the captain.
Yes.
Huh. That is odd. Um. Tell me then, what is the last thing you remember from your perspective before you wound up here?
Fighting on planet side of Alcara, trying to stop a Alcaran slash Iconian agent going for a portal. Unfortunately, the fight not going in my favour, and as far as I knew, had a nice hole through my heart and dying or dead.
Yes. Uh, do you remember who was with you on that mission?
I do. It was yourself, it was Fen, it was Alan, and it was also the Dr. Lazos.
Okay, GM, do I know if there's a recording device in this room? Like, do I know if there's a camera in here or an audio recorder or anything?
At least in the 21st century, you're not allowed to have any recording devices in a psychiatric office.
The GM will answer that it would be at the option of the counselor and with the information of the you'd want to inform the patient. So if it's on, you would have turned it on. If you wanted it
Okay.
off, you could turn it off. Normally, that's the purview of command officers and security, but a counselor needs to have that control in their office to shut that off or turn it on.
Right, right. Okay. Perfect. Because then I'll say, well, Captain, it's good to know that I'm not alone because your recollection of events is as I remember them. I, however, did not know that something was wrong until you were called down to my office at the wrong rank.
Well, if at any consolation, Lieutenant Arlen also knows something's wrong.
Okay. Well, as the humans say, 3 is a magic number. So in that case, unless you are suffering from any other delusions or psychiatric distress that I should be made aware of, I think I can declare you fit for duty.
I'd appreciate it because I would like to do some investigations around the ship and maybe try and figure something out.
Uh, and yes, that sounds good. I I will write a report saying that you were under some minor uh, hyperspace delusions that we have since rectified, and that you are otherwise completely fit for duty. You don't have anything to worry about there. But how may I be of service to you? I wouldn't even know where to begin on getting us back.
Well, the only people I haven't seen are Van and the Doctor. So if you can find them or interact with them, or if you can find any ideas, like forward them on that I could use to investigate. For now, I've got Arlen reaching out to Cadet Zeft, who has the ability to see hyperspace, and
Mm-hmm.
I've got history with dealing resisting mental attacks to a degree. So I'm going to start messing around with that.
Well, I don't want to be too optimistic, but that sounds like the beginnings of a good plan, Captain.
Commander, remember?
Yes, Commander, I remember.
Yes, let's keep up the act for now.
One final question before you leave. Your significant other being in charge of the ship, this won't cause any problems with the ability for you or her to execute your duties, will it?
I don't know, in this version of things she is my partner. So, no, not really.
Right. Well, in that case, you are free to leave.
Interesting. Oh, have you got a copy of my record?
Oh, I do, and I shall pull back the tab to that. You can read all about it right here.
Pendra will have a look at it. Oh, they've only put the good stuff in. Well, that's disappointing. And he'll just pass it back.
It's almost like there's it's almost like there's certain intelligence information they wouldn't be bandying her out to counselors.
Yeah.
Are you telling me, Captain, that, or Commander, are you telling me that when in a timeline in which there is no bad information on your record, you have a lower rank than you do currently? That doesn't quite make sense.
When we get back to how things should be, and I hopefully don't die, I'll give you access to what it should say.
Okay then.
I'm gonna need a new counselor.
I'm sorry?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But yeah, just if you can reach out to Ven and the doctor without letting too much away, let's see what they know first, and we can work from there.
Yeah, trust me, Captain, I'm very good at people telling me things without realizing.
That sounded a little threatening.
Well, it's good to know I don't have to teach you interrogation techniques then. As he leaves the room.
Jeez.
She's Patrona, makes sense.
Just listen to the prophets, you'll know. Where's Pend off to?
I meant in the sense that, like, therapists can, like, we'll talk about things without you realizing, but of course you won't leap to torture.
Yes.
I didn't say nothing about torture. What are you going on about?
Pen's off to a room of the ship that previously, before the weirdness happened, only he had access to.
What room is that?
That's where his quantum phase crystal is.
Ah.
That one, yeah.
Any further activity from the counselor?
Yes. First of all, I want to because I need to play my own role correctly. I just want to scan over my own records and make sure there's nothing different there.
No, it all lines up.
Okay. Then in that case, I will
You'll open your third chakra.
you know what? That's actually not a bad idea. After attending to my duties for a minute, I will do a little bit of actual work. I will leave the office for a break and return to my room to see if I can seek guidance from the prophets.
Okay. We'll check in with you in a bit. We go to the bridge.
Yay. Guessing everyone's acting as you might expect them to, as
Hmm.
far as Starfleet officers are concerned.
So far, Lieutenant. Yes.
No, that was me asking you, as like
Oh,
the GM,
me? Oh.
not yeah.
Oh.
That's not okay. So have I've got bridge access. So has anyone attempted a scan past the barrier we're currently moving towards in terms of the Alcara system?
No.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I take that back. Someone did make attempted a scan when you tried it before you entered it, largely to figure out how to safely enter the through the anomaly. A bit of scientific method happened, and then that's when they figured out how you're supposed to do it. But beyond that, they don't know anything beyond the barrier.
Mm-hmm. Do we have any orders to the contrary of trying to find out beyond the barrier?
No, if anything, the captain really wants to know.
If the scientific method thing's been done, is the report of that available in terms of access? And it says something about the speed of a thing going forward.
Yep, the whole mozzarella through a cheese grater, all that sort of stuff. Like that's why you're not racing through it, because it would theoretically obliterate the ship. Though there is some notes by Commander Penn saying that they could just gun it and the ship should be fine. You just have to prepare thoroughly enough. But Jaishu, in her caution, decided to go it slower since there's no imminent requirement to go quickly.
Um, does a probe speed match the mozzarella bowl? Like, would it become a mozzarella bowl?
Um, the speed wouldn't be what does it. It's the fact that probes have minimal shielding, and the intense energy storms that are within the barrier would obliterate the shields and then the probe. The fact that
Mm-hmm.
you're a starship means your shield at full power can withstand it. You would need a powerful shield generator in the probe itself to launch it through. But beyond that, it doesn't move fast. It moves at torpedo speeds, and at most at warp speed. And you're moving at very slow, like low warp, to move through it. So you could get a probe to do that. Probes don't even go much faster than warp when they have warp capability. No more than like warp 3, warp 5, because you're not really meant to have these things race away from you.
Yeah. I'm guessing there's something in the barrier that's interfering with our ability to scan beyond it.
Lots of not so much. Actually, no. Some level of active baffling, but also the intense amount of energy that's coursing through it is making your active scans just come back with garbage. All it's telling you is you're detecting a massive energy source in progress, which that's telling you superficial information. Uh, Not a new scene yet, Pen. No, I just realized you just came
Mm,
back.
okay. Migusta. Energy drain's a thing
Mm-hmm.
that we could do with the phasers, theoretically. I'm sitting here spitballing. Is it possible to create a window of lower energy in this field to get a proper scan through?
Theoretically, maybe. Depends what. No one's fired a phaser at this sort of thing before, so no one really knows what's going to happen. You'd need to. I mean, on paper, without doing scientific method, maybe. But it's not a definite no. It's entirely possible because you can sort of drain energy through a phaser connection. Although typically energy drains you firing at power systems on a ship to make a drain, but you could finagle the array to drain power into the ship. It's not super efficient, but it's doable.
Or the terminology is going to be entirely fucked because I can't think of the right word.
It's all right.
Essentially a negative power beam.
Mm-hmm.
One that like, it's not taking power into the ship, is taking power into the beam that's being fired.
You would have to configure the phaser array to do that. It's not something you'd be able to program. You'd have to physically get the array to do that. But in theory, a lot of things are possible with enough of engineering and security knowledge, and how much you're willing to risk the ship.
I was just gone for the last minute, apparently. I was like, man, that's a weird silence. Then I noticed my entire computer was frozen.
Oh. I thought I was just that eloquent and I just stunned you. No.
I'm sorry. So I got like the last word of your answer.
Oh. Short story is it's possible to fire negative energy, but you'd have to physically reconfigure your phaser array.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can't just do that, but Captain,
Lieutenant?
we are still wishing to get information from beyond this barrier, correct?
Ideally, yes.
It is.
I'd rather know what I'm flying into rather than just trusting that everything's going to go well when we get through.
It is plausible that if I were to reconfigure our phaser array, I'd fire a beam that could give us a window through which to get a scan. But that would require modification to the phaser array and firing our weapons.
So what you're saying is that our phaser array wouldn't work normally while this was reconfigured.
Correct.
But supposedly we are flying into Allied space.
We do also have cannons and torpedoes.
So we would just lose the array. All right then. Have a word with Arlen and get this figured out. Let's see how plausible he can get the reconfiguring done. And once I'll send Penn down to you to help coordinate that once he's free.
Yes, Captain. And stand and leave. Okay, I'm going.
A new scene. So we go to the lounge once more. Breakfast is over. You've had your meals. You've got to see really weird looking clouds sparking against the energy shield outside. People start filing out. Mostly there are some officers who are starting to file in who are coming off of gamma shift, and some people, but anyone who's on alpha shift is starting to head off to work.
From my understanding of how cadets work, does Vin have an assigned shift? Or is
Uh,
he like supposed to help out on projects when requested?
The cadets of the ship have been kind of in a special. They're assigned duties, but they're also allowed to do classwork as well. So part of they have shifts and they have classes. So that's kind of interchanged, so they can still keep up with their fourth year studies, but they're also getting some practicum in there as well.
Yeah,
All
it's
right,
the
then
worst parts of education and work.
Yeah.
I'll say to Vin, if the Borg aren't like killing everybody on the bridge and stuff like that, why don't you come down to Science 3 and we'll run some of those simulations from your paper again, and you can take another stab at it.
Okay. Sure. Sure. Sounds good.
I guess I'll head down to Science 3. Because, you know, I haven't seen any clues or anything yet. The only thing was
Right.
Vin's going out on jobs, but he could totally have saved lives. I don't.
The Achilles is a weird assignment.
Yeah, I mean, nothing, nothing, everything so far that Lazarus has encountered has been utterly unremarkable.
I don't know, someone actually eating oatmeal willingly. That's pretty remarkable. No, I'm just kidding.
Good. Solid.
It was? Okay. Glad you think so. What is
I mean,
Ben doing?
Am I gonna be on a? So my shift coming up?
Let's find out. Let's find out together.
Huh.
No.
No, my shift is not coming up. Well, with everything crazy going on, Ven's going to try and track down his any of his cadet friends who don't currently have shifts because things have been so hectic lately.
All right. Away Ben goes.
Never to be seen again.
I mean, sorry, what? And then something terrible happened.
What? No.
Oops. There we go. Dr. Lazos. You make your way to Science Lab 3.
oh,
There's some
boy.
other people in there doing, various minor tasks to help you with your work.
I'll check on how things ran overnight. Any new numbers came in?
Give me reason plus science, difficulty of 2, assisted by computers plus science.
Roll20 says no to opening sheets. I just kept clicking on my name. Wouldn't open a sheet. There we go.
So that's what you get for not buying things for the 10th anniversary.
Of what? Oh, of Roll20?
Well, 20.
Screw them. They get a pro subscription. They owe me.
There would be at least one Starfleeter in there, just to
Focus
help out.
in quantum mechanics.
Sure. It's probably an engineer.
Are there Starfleet people in here working?
There's at least one. Like, there's a technician who's in the room to help repair anything, and they're just generally here to help you guys out. But this is largely a civilian-led lab.
Would you accept determination on Starfleet serves science, not the reverse? Since they're helping me with my work, I'm not helping them with theirs.
Sure.
All right, then instead I'll spend 3 momentum to gain a point of determination for later using deep determination.
Aha.
Yes, I like how the person who the GM didn't take threat for is spending momentum.
Took threat for me.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, there's only 6 of us, and he started with 18. 6 times 3 is 18.
You've been
And is
misleading
from the
yourself this
universe in
entire
which
time.
6 times 3 is 15.
And because I'm really greedy, take 1 more momentum. And somehow, oh, never mind. I was scrolled up, so I thought I was Arlen, and I rolled 1 dice, and I was confused on how that made sense.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, you didn't spend determination, did you?
No.
So 2 momentum generated by the look of it. It would seem, according to, you were looking into quantum mechanics, was it? Was the project of the day, of the month, probably? That was the focus.
Yeah, has the Achilles done anything in the recent past few years that ties into quantum mechanics?
Yes. The last 6 months, in fact.
Well, yeah, I guess I wasn't looking for yes or no. I was looking for a slight description, so I could take that as the thing I'm looking into.
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of things they've been looking into. Shackleton is rife with weird anomalies to have to figure out.
Well, pick your favorite one, and that's what I'm analyzing.
Yeah. You find out that the big question mark for the Shackleton is navigating it in a way that is safe and reliable. Because there are electromagnetic storms and gravimetric eddies that do cause traveling through the expanse rather difficult. Supposedly, some of the alien species and even the tripology, both sides, both the main line, the mainstream, and the rogue, have found ways to move around. So Starfleet is and hell, the Federation is very interested in figuring out how to replicate that. Now, your line has gone through the quantum mechanical line, trying to figure out at what, if instead of a more macro scale, at a much more micro, or dare we say quantum scale, there's something that could be done that could accommodate the Shackleton expanse without any great changes to the sensors or the shields or the hull and stuff like that. There's lots of things that are probably incredibly interesting to a quantum mechanic, as it were, but there is one thing that pops out to you today since you made the roll. It seems that the supposed impermeable barriers, well, semi-impermeable barriers, these absolute limits of space-time that separate space-time from hyperspace and subspace, well, there's no other way to put it, and this is simplifying greatly the science behind it, but it would seem those barriers are thinner than normal. Not by a ton, not by massive amounts. There's not huge holes into the gates of heaven or something silly like that. It's just it's thinner. There's some
So,
Getting
so
shunted into an afterlife? How silly.
like right now, the ship. If I checked, I would expect the ship to be going maybe faster, as it's easier to slip in and out of subspace.
Yeah. If the things go, I mean, right now it probably is going faster by like point insignificant number.
Yeah,
But if this keeps up, it's gonna get better. although if it keeps up, the barriers are gone, and the barriers between subspace and space time fade away, as well as hyperspace. Which
Yeah.
what does that even mean?
I
That's a whole other question because this shouldn't really be happening.
I want to run a quick experiment to confirm. I want to um I want to do a I want to order a navigational ping to Earth, and then I want to run a computer simulation to see if the amount of time it takes for that message to travel through subspace is what I expect it to be. So,
You know that given where you are in space, Alcara is on the opposite end of the Shackleton Expanse. So if you fire a subspace beam through, or even a small packet through the Shackleton, it's going to get caught in something on the subspace level. It's going to run into some sort of interference.
yeah, I don't mean in a straight line. I mean like along whatever network we have.
Well, that's just it. There is no network out here. That's half the problem.
So how do we talk to anyone? Like Narendra?
With great amount of lag, because there's no subspace signalers through the Shackleton. This is unaligned space. Most of the talking through the Shackleton is done through trade treaties and such at the very edges of Narendra Station. So you could ping something to Narendra Station. It would just take a while for it to get back to Earth. Oh, you're talking. Okay, I follow your line. Send a signal to Narendra and then get that signal to go to Earth. Okay, because you can talk to
Yeah,
Narendra.
yeah. You just because I know how far away we are from Earth, and I know Earth is far enough away that the communication won't be back here in an instant, right? It'll take a
Right.
couple of minutes or something for a small message to get there and back. And I just want to check over that because if I just do it to Narendra, it might be so small I might not be able to detect the change. But I want to make sure that the messages are going faster than they should be. Because right
I
now, with a computer simulation, this could be a computer error, right?
I follow you. Yeah. Give
Oh,
me
I
reason.
forgot the roll before this was actually one additional success because I have augmented reason,
Oh, so an extra momentum was generated.
and I'll spend 2. Subspace mechanics.
Yep.
Spend 2?
Yes. Oh, 3. 3. Sorry, you're right.
I was wondering where that extra die was coming from.
So that's 5 successes.
um, you get it set up, and 1 second. Check how long that would take. You set it up properly. You send out the signal, and we'll come back to see what the results of your scan are. 'Cause it's going to take a bit for it to process and ping all the way back to you.
All right. Yeah, I may have gone. I just want to check. I may have gone too far when I said Earth. I wanted something that would take several minutes. If it's
Okay.
going to take like a day or something, then that's not what I intended.
Okay. I will say that your test reveals and confirms what your team has found out through the computers. It would seem that the subspace signal is actually moving a lot faster than it should. Well, not a lot faster. It's moving in enough that you can detect it. It is moving faster than it should, given the current environment and various variables and so on.
Yeah. Then I will mark these findings as highly concerned and send them to the captain, and eventually make my way to engineering where I might be able to get more experimental information from the engineer.
To the engineering bay. Lieutenant Arlen, you've entered your bay. The core is glowing. Your crew is working. And your head is a little chilly, but that's because you have no hair.
What?
The birds are singing. I was trying to get a response out of you. So you're in engineering bay.
Sorry, I was like in
What
the
a
room.
what a weird.
What a weird comic to make.
Hey, got a response. It worked. So, what do you do?
I'm gonna find Zeft.
Who's Zeft?
Yeah.
There's no Zeft here when you look around.
Oh, okay. Computer locate Cadet Zef.
There's no Cadet Zeft aboard this starship.
Wow, that's concerning. Peter, do you have a record on Cadet at Zeft in general?
Affirmative.
Can I pull it up on the screen? I just want like a general biographic information.
According to the ship's computer, he is currently assigned to Narendra Station.
Do I notice any other details that are different from my timeline and his?
Yes, he's not on Achilles. He's never been on the Achilles except for that as a cadet. He's always been a Narendra Station cadet.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he got assigned.
But
And before that, everything at Tiger Squadron and such, all that happened. Like, you know, his encounters with his mother there, him visiting, and all that stuff. The divergence is when Achilles came up to Narendra Station, and the cadets were moved on to the Achilles at the end of the 5-year term when they got everything set. When the Achilles got everything set up with Narendra Station, of the cadets, Cadet Zeft didn't get assigned to the Achilles. He got assigned to Narendra Station.
Can I poke at the reasons given, or is that even recorded? Why he was at this particular assignment?
Reason command, difficulty 2. Actually, I take that back. Difficulty opposed.
Not worth it. If it's gonna be that much trouble to look into it, I'm not gonna poke around for specifics.
Okay.
Do I know of any way to adjust the sensors or to create a hyperspace sensor?
Regular sensors can sort of detect it, just not very well, because you're trying to. Sensors are meant to detect a little bit into subspace, but mostly in space-time in general, because that's where you mostly operate in. But hyperspace, as a theoretical field, is not greatly understood, and is usually, if you're looking into hyperspace, you're not looking in real space anymore. You're looking at a different dimension. But you could get the ship's sensors to do it. It would be a recent science roll at a higher difficulty because you're trying to look into something that you normally can't see. But if you wanted to get a good detailed look into it, you'd need to build a purpose hyperspace sensor array.
Is that something I can do in a reasonable amount of time? Even if it's just handheld? and short range rather than ship.
Handheld, you can do. That is something that is doable. That's opportunity to escalation 1. There's experimental scanners that look into hyperspace. It's mainly used for like away missions that are of particular types and certain things like that. Hyperspace science has kind of been a big focus in the last 5 years, especially for Nerd Station.
For reasons.
For various reasons, yeah.
Um,
It's not even the Achilles that did it; it's the Carrack that did it. They were looking into it. But as a whole array, you would need to be in dry dock. You'd have to rebuild the whole thing. But you could get them to do it. It's it's just harder. That's all. And it's shorter range. But you could have a specialist hand one for sure.
trying to think if there's anything else I want to do with it. Like, do we need to make this stealth, like a stealth scanner?
Stealth in
Anyone
what
else
way?
at the table?
Oh, okay.
Hidden in such a way that no one knows that we're scanning into subspace, either from looking at the device or can see active pings if they happen to inhabit hyperspace.
So it would be a passive scanner, right? That way you're not emitting anything and looking for a signal back. You're just absorbing info from hyperspace coming back to you.
I guess so, yeah. Is that a functionality I can toggle, I'm guessing?
You could reconfigure it, yeah.
Okay. Just figure, while I have this tool here, let's see if I can modify it in any way we need.
Are you replicating one of these?
Yes, let's replicate one.
Okay, 2 momentum spent, 1 threat gained as you replicate an experimental bit of hyperspace scanning equipment. It's around this time that Dr. Lazo steps into engineering bay. Eventually, if you're looking for Arlen, someone points you in his direction, which of the rooms he's in.
Yeah, I walk towards Arlen and I say, I hear you're going a little bit faster than you should be. Or at least I know you are.
Huh? What do you mean by that?
Check your reactor output and compare it to your nominal speed. It should be producing energy that's too low to meet that speed normally.
I pull up that chart. Nominal speed on one side and reactor and warp core output.
It's once Lazarus points it out, it's not a large change, but it is a change.
Can I get a percentage?
An almost insignificant number. So it's like 0.0000000% plus 1. It's just that it's not supposed to get faster unless subspace layers are thinner, or someone very, very carefully increase the speed of the ship just a tiny bit.
Might be one of those things where an engineer shrugs at it, like, "Hey, it's working. Who cares?" But as a scientist,
I'm kind of wondering
if it's off at all, I'm interested.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering if this is like within the margin of error for our internal scanners and just
It is if it wasn't constant. If it fluctuated a little bit, like it was faster and then it went away. It was faster, then it went away, or it's really fast and it went away, or you went a little slower and it went away. It's like it's at an exact number. Like it's as if that's the speed you intended to set it at. Except you doing the quick math, you shouldn't be going even that little bit faster. And actually, even as you're looking at it, you see the number tick up just a little bit. Just the tiniest amount. You're going a little bit faster, ever so slowly.
Computer, pull up the nominal speed records for the past 12 hours.
The computer displays it.
Is there a slope to this increase?
I would say so.
Consistent?
Yeah.
Or is it asymptotic?
Y equals mx plus p. Calculate the slope.
There is a gradual increase.
Gradual increase in rate?
Yeah. So it is sloping upward. A very subtle slope upward. So it's growing faster. It is growing.
There's a
faster
slight
and faster.
exponential growth.
Yeah. I
That's
hesitate to
what
say
I'm looking for.
exponential, but it is exponential because just at a very small scale.
Yeah.
Which is a weird way to put it, but you know.
No, it makes sense.
Well,
Okay.
that's the thing about exponentials. It very
starts
quickly
small,
becomes
but then
irrelevant to what degree it's exponential.
Yeah.
How did you find this?
I'm running experiments on subspace, or on quantum fluctuations in the Shackleton.
Like this is so small. Oh, this is almost an error bar, but it's consistent.
Yeah, I would have expected y'all to ignore it.
Hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, that's the problem with
this
engineers.
Whoa.
Did anyone hear that torpedo buzz by the hull? Just asking.
We need to get a handle on this though. I've already sent up a report to the captain. I don't really know how you Starfleet people do things, but I assume she's going to want you to have a solution before she asks for it. So I'm here to help you get your solution before it's asked for.
Yeah, especially with this exponential curve here.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a Q today.
Yeah, since we have that curve, can we extrapolate out? When does this turn into the oh god, we're all gonna die level if we continue at our current rate?
Reason plus engineering or science. I could see it either way, honestly. Difficulty of 1. It's just math. Computers plus engineering or science.
Hey, Doc, you have a focus on quantum mechanics. I can help by putting in the tolerance of the ship, and we can both come at this together.
I will step up to the console with him.
And that's when they became travelers. No.
We're not doing any funny stuff at this console.
Just lean back like playing a piano.
No one will be phasing out of existence here.
Why is nothing happening? I'm posing and everything. Sorry, go on.
I don't think of anything really fancy. Just rolling. Oh, I should have said that. That is a complication for me. But it's 3 successes. Because of
Can I use the focus reason engineering and technical insight focus?
It didn't matter.
Well,
Oh
He
wait,
might
that was
roll.
Finn's roll. That
Get
was Finn's
momentum.
roll. My bad.
I'll
Yeah.
have to say I'll have to say no because it's more just doing raw math. You're doing mathematics.
Starfleet protocols and how to carry the one.
Look, if you were serving in the U.S. military in some fashion, I am sure there is a manual for properly doing math. However, in Starfleet, I'm gonna hope that's a no as a protocol.
All right, last one, and then I'm just gonna walk away. Tinkering, as we're tinkering with math, tinkering with numbers.
Better not be tinkering with math. Leave it alone. Let it stay consistent.
We're just rounding a little, you know.
No, you can tinker with maths as much as you like, just don't tinker with mathematics.
You know, I don't like the vibe of this formula. I'll make up my own.
I don't like the vibe of this formula.
I will say yes.
Especially from an engineering perspective of, you know,
No,
estimating
you
tolerances
can't.
and stuff.
You can't just ignore this trailing decimal because it's a small value.
Oh God!
See what
See, that's
happens
what
when you
happens.
tinker?
This is what happens.
So we gain 3. We can squash both.
I walked right into that.
Well, we gained 2 momentum,
GG.
or we gained 3 momentum.
Yeah, so we can squash both.
We'll squash both.
Oh.
Spending 1 to
Good.
squash.
Good gravy in a truck. What the hell?
I deserve that complication so hard.
So in the let me take you to another map here. I don't want to use a ton, but it's relevant to your current calculations. So a catastrophic break about whoops, a little too small. Get this right. About this big. There will be in about 20 years, this whole area will be devoid of that barrier, of those barriers entirely. And then at that point, it's a tear that will expand from there at light years upon light years in distance.
Oh no! False vacuum collapse.
At which point, within 80 years, there will be an absolute collapse of the barriers within the entirety of the galaxy.
Oh.
And once it goes beyond the galaxy, frankly, at that point, you have a lot of other problems, but it gets worse and worse.
I think
Okay.
at that point, we personally no longer have problems.
But okay, so that's a temporal increase. Are we showing like a distance increase? I suppose we have to like change course to see if it's getting worse as we're getting to the center of this.
Well, that kind of it is going to expand little by little, and then it's just going to. It is basically there's the initial tear in the 20-year period that's just going to bore a hole right there. At which point it's going to expand. The rest of it is going to hold, but because there's already been a breach within the barrier, so there's kind of a leeway area in the barrier. But within 80 years, you estimate that the whole of it will just expand, and then eventually there'll be a collapse of that barrier that will suddenly ramp up, and then it's going to consume not consume, the barrier is going to fall away from the entirety of the galaxy.
Can we?
That's assuming nothing changes.
Can we extrapolate
there's
how
no-
old the tear is?
Say again, sorry.
Can we extrapolate how old the tear is?
About 5 years, give or take a month or so, given the math. Because it's almost like there's a certain area that seems thinner than the rest of it, and the rest is being thinned with it. But one area is a lot more worn or thinned than the rest of it, in space time at least.
Can I create a date range around the time that the tear would have happened and look for, keyword quantum and subspace in Achilles logs?
You get nothing because this is the Achilles has traveled further than any Starfleet ship has in this direction. No one in Starfleet has gone this deep into the Shackleton or anywhere this close to Alcara.
So whatever happened 5 years ago, the Achilles wasn't around for it, or
No.
never heard of it.
Yeah, the Achilles was based around Narendra. It's staying fairly close. They were a garrison ship for the Starbase, helping ferry and supplies, monitored the area, that sort of thing. It wasn't until this year that they actually got to go out and venture out into the Shackleton.
And can you show the map again? We've just
Sure.
recently crossed over.
Boop.
Oh, we've crossed over a while ago.
Is there a danger event horizon currently that we should stay away from? Like, actively, is there a sinkhole in space that, hey, around this area, probably shouldn't go there, unless we want to
You're
fall to heaven?
you're in it. This math is presuming nothing changes. This is presuming it stays at that constant, and in the pure
No,
world
no,
of
no,
mathematics,
not the event horizon for, or the event of this, but event horizon of, if we go past this line, the ship's gonna shred.
that's kind of what I'm driving at.
Okay.
The answer is no, unless something complicates matters. So there shouldn't be
That's
one, but it's entirely possible that there could be one because you are flying into uncharted territory, and you're currently within an otherwise uncharted anomaly of a hyperspace particle shield.
This shield, what does it do?
It basically envelops the entirety of the Alcara star system and protects it from, well, pretty much anything, really. If you want to come through this, you have to have your shields at full and fly through it at very low warp. If it has any other uses, the computer doesn't know. Beyond that, it's a shield, it's a barrier.
Yeah, then I will start looking into any known methods to restore, strengthen those dimensional barriers on a local scale.
I don't think you are.
Oh, hey, the threat's going away.
uh, Red alert is sounded, and all of you are summoned to the conference room by order of the captain.
Yay.
Define all of us.
All of the senior staff plus Dr. Lazos and Cadet Ben.
Wow, I've never got invited to one of these before. I'll ask Arlen. Do we get to like, bombard?
Oh, go ahead. I'll let you ask your question. Go ahead.
Oh, it was totally a joke. I was gonna ask if we get to like, bombard a planet or do space battles or just Lazarus being facetious about Starfleet being a military.
Are you sure you're being facetious? No.
Hey, the Iconians did it and they got really powerful, so why shouldn't we do it?
Ooh.
And if the Iconians jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge too?
Yeah, because there's probably some pretty sweet technology at the bottom.
Oh my god.
Dear Lord.
It's on the
Jeez.
Iconian's body, so
I imagine there's some Iconian anti-grav field at the bottom.
What a. That seems like a stretch.
Does anyone disregard the summons to the room?
I do not.
Did I have enough time to at least do a little bit of a prayer?
Give me. Whoops. Captain Pen is disregarding.
Yes.
Okay, we'll deal with you in a moment. Asa, give me insight plus. Insight plus something. Give me a second. Insight plus engineering difficulty of 2.
Oh God, I'm not very good at this.
The prophets are never known for being straightforward.
They sure aren't. Focus and meditation.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. My engineering's a 1.
Still yes.
Well, you know, all right. Diff 2. All right. Have 3 momentum.
You don't have any, I don't think.
Oh, I meant 3 threat. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Do. There you go. Message just for you.
I will heed their wisdom then and answer the summons.
So yeah, I'm disregarding, but I'd probably give some bullshit excuse as to be.
Oh, don't worry
dismissed.
about it. The captain's going to resolve your insubordination in a second.
Yeah.
Resolving insubordination. That's a fun thing we like to do on Klingon ships.
Is that what you call it when you pull out the batleth?
Yes.
for Klingons, that
You have to
confusing.
find out that this is actually the ISS Achilles.
Has anyone checked the whole number yet? That's a good. That would have been a good thing to check.
Actually, it'd probably be more like. That, because one would presume he's showing up.
Technically, yes.
Captain Joshu waits for and looks around the table. Waits a little bit longer as everyone assembles, and then looks at the empty chair next to her. Computer, give location of Commander Pend, please. And where is Commander Pend? The GM asks. He's
Pen.
outside that room.
Yeah.
Airlock 2.
Whoops! Shoot! Hold on. Pend. You walk up to a door. You press buttons to open it, and you get access denied.
Any particular access denied?
All caps in red.
I mean, is this access denied by the captain?
It doesn't say.
Well, it's not going to remain access denied very long.
Oh no.
How is that condition going to change?
Multitudes. I'll do it
Let's do it one at a time.
Yeah, I'll do it the hacking way first.
Oh dear lord.
All right.
What's that crashing sound to the distance?
Yeah, just for record, it's not Winchester doing this, so let's just write
I
that
know.
down.
Yet.
Yet.
Yes, this is Penn trying to go to his invention.
This is a reasoned security role opposed by Ryloff.
Oh.
Oh, buddy.
Oh no.
Someone's trying to bypass a security lockout on a room, which the chief of security would be alerted to might be alerted to a breach. I will have to say, unfortunately, Ralph, you don't know actively that Penn's doing this. You just this is reflecting your security measures you've already put into the ship.
Yeah. So, paranoid. It's a trait that I have for security measures.
Cancelled out by tried and trusted. Unfortunately, much as I would like you to get it, but he has something that'll cancel it.
Cancelled out makes sense
Yeah,
because then he's also not getting it.
true.
Romulan, I probably shouldn't use because I think Starfleet gets mad when I use Romulan security.
They get mad about you with everything, so I don't know.
They
what
do.
you're worried
Even
about.
when I don't use Romulan security protocols, they're like, we're still mad.
Why aren't you using Romulan protocols? What are you mad about now?
Everything.
I need to reread that because there's all. God damn it! My cheat sheet with absolutely every thing that I had for my characters.
Oh no.
Yeah, so when absolutely everything got wiped, I even put everything that I wanted to keep on a solid state drive, and they were like, "Oh, that's great. We just won't wipe that," and then it's wiped. So that's also gone.
Oof.
So I don't have the
Oof.
exact wording for constantly watching.
That one's it's when you're trying to detect a hidden threat.
Yeah,
this
so that
would count.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm like, it's technically not an optional thing to it, just is. So
Yeah, so you get one free hit.
yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Penn is rather threatening.
yeah,
Yeah.
Someone,
Hey, you used to
I was
have
like,
threatening presence for a long time.
I was like, there's someone trying to get through security protocols constitutes a threat. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no duh.
So my complication range is not 2 anymore. Are we just gonna roll flat here, Pen? I don't even know what reasons.
I was just going to give one threat.
I'll give a threat too then.
Okay.
Just no, I won't go like eccentric on you.
No, so I don't mind
Yeah.
doing a roll off. Focusing.
No, his name is Ryloff, not Roloff.
Damn it! I was gonna make that exact joke.
Focus in strategy and tactics.
Yeah.
Focus and paranoia.
Yeah. Oopsie. Almost grabbed the wrong thing. There we go.
So yeah, here's my roll.
What the fuck? Oh, I've got the one free hit from constantly watching though.
I have 2 rerolls.
Yes, you do. I have one. What are you complaining about?
Uh,
Not anyone in the game. My cat is sitting behind me, staring at me, just occasionally making a noise.
Like, what?
I'll reroll one of them,
Oof. Okay.
and I can try and reroll the second one. second one to try and get an extra crit.
You could try.
You can. Sure.
Yeah, fuck it. I'll do another reroll. Should we let it stand?
I could. Nope, never mind.
You've just screwed yourself there, bud.
Yes, I did. I was like,
Then yeah, I won't then.
All right. You managed to open the door without alerting security.
I'll head in and I will seal the door.
Okay.
Oh, I missed that. Oh, I missed that by quite a bit, actually. Oh, because it's a reason roll. Duh.
Yeah, it's not your strong suit there, bud.
No, it's not.
But yeah, once
Which, the reroll was not exactly a reasonable choice either when you think about it.
No, it wasn't. The fact that you had an 8 and you rolled that off the bat, it's like, that's good to stick with. But yeah, once the door's sealed, I'm going to go over to the console and start the disengaging protocol so I can access the crystal.
You don't see a crystal. You see a containment vessel. You see all the trappings of it. There should be something in there. There's nothing in there. It's just an empty container.
What, powered up?
Yeah, there's power going to it. Like, so you can open it and put something in there, then put the physical barrier up, and the force fields up. The force field and the barrier are all in place.
I want to locate where the fuck my crystal is.
It's not in here. You know that much.
Oh yeah, I'm going to use the consoles and scan the ship. I want to know where my crystal is.
And back to the briefing room. Lieutenant Ryloff, please gather the commander and bring him here to my ready room, please.
Captain, I must protest. The commander is under a lot of stress right now. Perhaps it would be best if you, loosened the leash a bit.
Currently, I have a commander who is in a restricted area without my authorization and who is currently ignoring a summons during a red alert. If I was being strict, counselor, I would consider him attempting to suborn mutiny. Right now, I'm just considering him disrespectful of a senior officer.
This is all way outside of Dr. Lazos' pay grade. He's not very concerned about all that's going on right here.
Yeah, Isa is gonna, look perturbed because she knows she stepped out of line, and we'll just quietly nod and say, yes, Captain.
Gonna Romulan out of here.
Time is not exactly on our side, so here's the short story. I looked into the data that Dr. Lazos sent. She types it in. And she gives a brief summary to those who don't already know. So for this is more for Aza and Ben's benefit. Arlen already knows what she's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It would seem that something is causing a thinning in reality in the universe around us. Now, if we were in open space, this would be an interesting curiosity that would need to be dealt with as much speed as we can muster, including mobilizing the rest of the Ranger fleet. Unfortunately, we're currently in the middle of an anomaly that is putting immense amount of pressure and strain upon the shields and the structural integrity system. And it seems to be speeding the ship up. And we all know that if we go too fast while we're moving through this anomaly, the ship's going to be shredded to pieces. So we need to find a way to move this ship quickly, either back out the way we came or deeper in the way we're trying to go, so we can get the full power of our shields and not be torn apart by the shield. Now, the reason I brought in Dr. Lazos, I am led to understand that you have a special, well, you're the one who brought this up in the first place, this thinning of the realities. So I'm hoping with your vast amount of knowledge in these fields, as well as your intellect, can be lent to our officers to help us arrive at our solution as quickly as possible. Normally, I don't like bringing civilians into the matter. You're supposed to be left to your devices. However, given the current state of the ship, it is in your best interest to help the ship get out of this, I would presume.
I don't wish to be caught in collapsing realities. I will help Arlen and Vin try to find a way for us to move faster without moving faster. Some of the things that pop to mind first are, instead of moving faster, we could look into instead of us increasing our speed, we could decrease the distance we have to travel. We could increase the speed of space around us. And then there are options that we have regarding instead of speeding up, changing our location temporarily, so we can explore all of those options.
All right, get me solutions, everybody. I'll be in my ready room.
Can I get some kind of perception? I was trying to broach the topic of temporal displacement, a thing that I understand to be a big no-no in Starfleet, and I wanted to know if she was gonna say she's gonna slap my hand for thinking about it. But if she hasn't, that I found that fascinating.
Yeah, no, I'll give that to you for free. She did not blink at that as an option. It's like whatever works, whatever gets us out of this.
Interesting.
Spicy.
Spicy.
I look at Arlen and I say, "Your lab or mine?"
Your lab. It's probably more organized.
If you're using his lab, you're bringing the dinner. Sorry.
Yeah, I was. Oh man.
Ignore me. I'm being a brat.
While the four of us are all sitting together, what do you all remember of the last away mission we took part in?
I have thankfully avoided any contact with Starfleet and their dreaded away missions that always end up with people dying and getting things shot off and shot at and shot up.
I remember breaking some sort of portal machine using a gravimetric shunts.
You do? Okay. You remember going
I was kind
to
Yeah, I was kind of proud of that. That was awesome.
Why were you breaking it?
Alcara?
Yeah, that one city.
Mm-hmm. I think it was the old capital. And there was the guy the captain was fighting. You all remember that?
Do I remember that, GM?
Do you?
See, that's not helpful at all.
What is forbidding ever helpful?
I will give you Dr. Lazos, a fitness plus medicine difficulty of 5.
This is because I saw the thing.
I wouldn't worry about it. Everything's fine.
That
yes,
is a
my
blatant
personal
lie.
favorite.
Here comes the betrayal.
Incorrect.
5 rolls.
Incorrect. Try again.
Let me look at all those directive things.
Sure.
You don't pin them anywhere, do you? Because the ones that pin don't look like the ones that were there last week.
Those are the current directives. The ones that are pinned. Because they haven't gotten to Akari yet in this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the new directives are pinned under Trust in My, but that's that mission,
Okay. Those
which
aren't
you're not sure you even know about yet.
Well, don't you have 2 determinations?
I do, but I'm trying to figure out how to use one of them. The best shot I got is sometimes you have to move on because I don't want to get caught dreading whatever it is I'm dreading.
That's fair, yeah.
And then on top of that, I will take 1 momentum and give you 4 threat.
Sure. And before you roll, I'm going to build the hazard for you, because to be fair, I should build that first. And then you roll, because if you make it, I just used a bunch of threat for no reason. So...
How generous.
How generous.
3, 6.
Ooh.
7 challenge dice, intense.
Alright, will you take temporal mechanics?
I would.
Alright. That's 5.
The things that Dr. Lazarus probably was waving off as just fantasy and daydream, the player knowledge that you have is now knowledge that Lazos has about what's gone on. So he knows what happened last episode, as well as what's happened this episode.
Coming to that realization, I look at Arlen and I go, God, you did this. This is your fault.
Not an unreasonable assumption, probably, and I don't even know what happened.
I'll just throw one of my values to Arlen and say, you can only misuse Iconian technology once. This is your free chance. Never again. Never again.
Okay, I won't misuse Iconian and technology in that particular way ever again.
Oh no.
Actually, it may be my funeral, so don't misuse it at all.
Can I misuse something that I didn't design myself?
That's what engineers do in general.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. Isn't it awesome?
Oh gosh.
Alright, so I'm gonna guess, Commander Azza, you're driving at that we shouldn't be here? Because we shouldn't be here?
Yes, I am driving at that somehow. And I'm not assigning blame because I don't understand the things you were babbling on, but somehow we wound up in a world that's not our own, and we, in addition to solving the ship's woes, we need to return to our own timeline as soon as possible.
If only we could be certain that it was only a temporal displacement. In fact, we know it's not only temporal because we're not in the past.
It can't be a temporal displacement. The captain's rank is wrong.
Do we need to solve the ship's problem? Does the ship's problem correlate with our problem, GM?
Does it really exist?
Well, I don't. Right, I don't care about solving the ship's problem if it takes away from solving our problem. So Lazos is going to try to, I guess think if solving the problem of the bleeding realities is going to fix any.
Okay. Okay. Insight engineering difficulty 2.
That was a lot of OOKs for a difficulty 2.
Yeah, it's fine. It's difficulty 2.
I'm not going to get a trauma because I rolled this right.
I mean,
Yes.
Yes.
Hey, look, you've got a counselor in the same room.
Oh my god.
Take a threat.
hey, I have to give the council something to do once in a while. I have to traumatize some people.
Focus in.
One person's still traumatized. He hasn't been treated yet.
We finally got that Klingon half treated, I think. Your choice of subspace, quantum, or temporal mechanics?
Quantum, yeah.
Ooh. What did we do last episode? I wrote it down. Oh, I talked with an Iconian. I don't think that's going to give me my determination.
I mean, is it assisted by the ship, considering you could access a panel at the table?
No, I think this was all in my mind.
Yep.
Will you take will you allow me to create an advantage to squash that complication with the determination spent on elegant solutions are the best? Because I would prefer to solve both solutions issues.
I'll take that basis, sure. If you're willing to spend a determination over it.
Yeah.
I'll let you squash it with that. Why not?
It's kind of key. I don't want to get misdirected here because that could, that could be bad.
So, you're working with imperfect information because this is something that doesn't happen all that often in Starfleet or in the Federation. But, theoretically, space-time covers time travel as well, and hyperspace is that layer above space-time and tying it together in another dimension. So if the barrier between subspace and regular space goes away, that's annoying but livable. Warp travel as we know it basically falls apart. That's terrible for this reality, this timeline. However, if it breaches the hyperspace barrier, it would affect all realities at the same time. Because if that barrier goes, it will go for everybody, everywhere.
So the answer to my question is yes. Solving one solves the other.
That's why I didn't want to give you a straight yes or no answer. It's more of I need to explain that. So that's a rule. Yeah.
All right.
I will point out the pure physics of it, that if the ship you're in crushes into a tiny ball and you're in it, you die.
All right, then me, Vin, and Arlen, we need to get somewhere with serious computing abilities, like a science lab. And Commander, you probably need to keep your captain from getting murdered. Not something I want to get involved in.
Uh-huh.
So, this way follow me, or I'll follow you.
To the laboratory.
So Lazos and Arlen take off to a lab.
As getting into the elevator, I'll just kind of casually mention to Arlen, there's not a insignificant chance that the captain or other people on the ship go into a murderous rage because we're trying to alter the reality they live in. I don't think it'll happen, but I'd look out.
Yeah, not sure or how to handle that. Usually someone else handles the social issues. If it's a structural failure, I can plan ahead for that and put a strut in. Can't exactly put a
Lazos,
strut in.
sorry, Lazos. You note as Arlen's talking, he seems to be almost gasping for air, and you can see that his eyes are constrict. His irises are constricting, and he seems to be
Oh,
he's hyperventilating.
Okay. This
He's
is not a.
hyperventilating.
You're not about to tell me he's dying in front of me.
Nope, he's panicking. Like, you're not a counselor, but this man is panicking, almost like he's suffering. He's being exposed to a very intense trauma.
You.
I have no ability to help with this, so I will do what I think is probably my only solution, and I will start. I will start quizzing Arlen over basic things that could be relevant to what we're going to do, like, if we're traveling through subspace at warp 9, how long should it take us to get from this point to this point? And then
Escapism as a
yeah,
coping
yeah,
mechanism.
I'm trying to keep it tangentially related to the ship speeding up when it's not supposed to, and blending of lanes, but I'm trying to weed this towards reason roll and not a presence roll, because he's gonna die if I have to use presence.
I hate to tell you this, but here's how it's going to go. Assisted by Lazos, presence plus. So, Arlen, you're looking at fitness engineering roll, difficulty. Sorry, engineering. No, I'll use engineering because he forced it to be that. So, fitness engineering, difficulty 5, assisted by Lazos, who's giving you presence engineering and trying to give you something to work off of. Like, he triggered this roll to let you kind of find a temporary way around the trauma. It's not a permanent solution, but it'll help with it, hopefully. Because right now, Arlen's panicking about Yolan, because this also means, theoretically, all Yolans on all realities are going to die if he screws up. That is not a good thing for Arlen to be thinking about right now.
Wait, so
No.
on some of those he divorced you and he was a bad person, so like some of those are okay, right?
Can you not?
That's definitely not an in-character thing. That was just Winchester.
God.
Yeah, yeah. In some realities, your marriage didn't work out. In addition to you both dying.
Yeah. Does that mean we now need a new token for "Can you not Winchester"?
Yes. Well, married as a trait, or is that what's triggering this?
I don't see it hurting you, but I'm not sure if it helps in this instance because he's coming at it from an engineering point of view. He's trying to give you something else to think about other than what's going on.
Oh,
He's
okay, okay.
He is pulling the lever on the trolley system to get you not going that way. You're going to go there eventually, but for now, you're not going to go there, hopefully.
Okay.
Or you'll derail.
Fast thinker. I have ADHD. I'm easily distracted.
Those are different traits, so I'll take fast thinker
Yes.
and give you a free hit.
Can I have ADHD as a trait?
I mean, you could.
That'd be weird to anyone else.
Mm.
I thought your character already had ADHD.
I thought
Yeah,
that
but
was just
not
gonna be
like
bullying.
mechanically.
But no, you can always have a trait that does stuff like that. Because at character creation, I had a character who had just had a prosthetic hand. No particular mechanical benefit to it. That's just part of her backstory. She lost her hand, and she had to get a new one.
Do I want to use
How-
the? Do I want to use the determination now or save it for the reroll?
How confident do you feel in making this roll without any help from me?
I mean, engineering's good. Fitness not the greatest. Yeah,
Because
let's
I
do
have
a
I have a
determination.
milestone for talking to someone, so I could probably burn that to give you an advantage. But I don't want to unless you don't think you're going to be able to make it.
If I spend the determination, home is where the tools are.
Hold on. My brain was on a different track, and that threw me completely.
Is this where I say you're not in Kansas anymore?
Sell me on it. I'm not sold. Sorry.
With the idea that I'm doing this to protect my home and the people in my home, and I need to pull myself together, or else none of this matters.
Okay, I follow you. Yep.
All right. Take five threat. Focus on technical insight since I'm being distracted with technical insight.
Sure.
Technical things. Cool. Okay, here we go.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Well, you have it so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gain 2 momentum. Yeah. For now, Arlen is thoroughly distracted from his thoughts and is able to kind of catch his breath as Lazarus is helping Arlen distract himself from the overwhelming panic, which it takes active effort, but it's working for now. Not hell. This won't count as treating the trauma. This is just keeping the trauma from increasing your difficulty and complication up by 4. So that would have sucked if you didn't make that roll. Cadet Finn, did you go into the same turbo lift as them?
Yes.
Okay. So
It's a
you would have
lift, but
noticed.
faster.
You would have witnessed this, and actually empathically,
Oh,
you would have
yeah.
sensed that he was panicking. Like he
Yep.
suddenly had a huge surge of panic, and then Lazos, you can still feel Arlen panicking. It's almost like a squirrel in a cage who's bouncing off all the walls, just sheer oh my god, because it's trauma 4. It's pretty serious.
Yeah.
But it's kind of diminished before the larger problem that he has in front of him, which as long as he's working on that problem, he should be okay. The minute he's not, if the problem's still here, like, you better keep working on engineering things, okay? That's what I'm driving at.
Yep. I'm gonna keep a general eye on his emotional state.
Where's Counselor Aza off to during all this?
So, can I try to find where the security incident is and go to that place?
Sure, I can. That's easily done enough. Meanwhile, Jaishu is going to be wondering why the room out there got so darn quiet, but she's going to wait for Pend and Ryloff because she trusts her security officer. So, Pend, you were trying to find your crystal, was it?
Yes.
It's not on the ship. You check and check again. The computer isn't lying to you. There's no sensor baffles or anything going on. It's just not on the ship.
Do we still have access to the quantum phase torpedoes?
It would seem so.
Then I'd like to trace where we're drawing the quantum phase from.
The torpedoes are there, but actually, that's going to be a rather rude awakening for security. Because the actual physical torpedoes are there, but they won't phase. So they're just torpedoes now. Not that torpedo room knows that right now. Because they've been at yellow alert this whole time, so they haven't checked weapons. They haven't had to.
I mean, yellow alert is standby for firing, so they should check. Standby in case you need to go to red.
Yeah.
If that's the case,
But you're not loading them yet, is the thing. You haven't powered them on. So the torpedo guys are probably like in the next room, ready to race in there and get ready to fire stuff. But they haven't had to do their bi-weekly check of the complement and systems, the maintenance cycle. Yeah. Everything supposedly, according to them, seems fine. Although you now know because you know the secret. You know that no, this isn't going to work, and the guys down there don't know because they don't have access to this room. They can't check this room. Only you can. Well, only the captain can.
Yeah. Then I'm just going to lower the power this down, because if it's not there, it's fucking pointless.
At which point, someone in the torpedo room's like, "Why did that shut off? Oh God, what happened to the quantum torpedoes?" Because they're mighty confused. Meanwhile, Ryloff, you're on the appropriate deck. You know Pend is in this particular room. What do you do with that information? Oh, you do get an update that apparently the quantum phase torpedoes don't work. Because that's something Torpedo would have learned pretty quickly.
But I wouldn't have an idea of why, really.
No, you're just told that. Because they haven't gone to red alert. That's just something they would have discovered when this thing got shut off.
We did go to red alert.
Oh, we did get a red alert. Oh. Then that would have came up a lot sooner. Sorry, Roloff. That would have came up. That's GM error there.
Oh, no, it's fine. So that security team that I was supposed to take with me, and I get anyway, because I'm a chief of security, they're hanging around here. They're not going to enter unless things sound terrible.
All right. I'll get a token for them. Security detail.
And they just kind of, it's red alert. You have security teams that are just kind of armed in different places on the ship in case there's borders. That's just a thing. It doesn't look too suspicious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially under red alert. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking as if like you're planning to stage a coup.
I am a Romulan.
Yeah.
Hand on the phaser to kind of, it's half drawn-ish because there's something fucky going on. And just enter and, Commander, or...
Oh, Lieutenant Rylov, have you noticed anything strange recently? And he just looks at you.
Plenty.
Anything in particular that would regard me to you?
Well, you're in this room, of which I'm not entirely sure what it is.
A room
That's a bit odd.
Yeah.
Aside from that,
A room that only captains would have access to.
And as memory serves, you should be one, but you're not.
Well, the thing that should be here doesn't exist on the ship, and I'll just point to the empty containment field.
Yeah.
And that would be, aside from classified?
Well, I can't tell you exactly what it is, but it pertains to our quantum phase torpedoes.
And are those about to be relevant?
I have no idea, but I had ideas of what to do with what was in this room, which isn't here.
Well, I'm under instruction to bring you to the other captain's ready room. She didn't seem particularly overzealously upset, just reprimandative.
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, when we leave the room, I'm just Commander again, remember?
Commander
The
Asa, by the way, counselor, you have arrived on the deck, and you can see a security detail standing guard. And they don't challenge you. You're a lieutenant commander. You can move around wherever you want on the ship.
I'm going to have like a flat face and give them like the nod of like a commander, and then just try to walk right in.
Yeah, they nod, and because tell me if I'm wrong, Ralph, they weren't given orders to restrict access to this room.
Because he doesn't know what the room is really, and that kind of bugs him, to be honest. There's a room on the ship that he probably didn't know existed until a moment ago, and he's like, hangy.
All right, so I will at least buzz at the door first.
Someone
It's funny,
ding dongs the weapon room.
buzz on the door, and it's more of like the half step away from the door, and it was a half drawn phaser, it's now a 3/4 drawn phaser on the.
Oh my god!
They're making the shing noise in the Foley department, so you know a gun's being drawn.
I'm going to step in and just motion with my hands for you to lower that phaser, and
And it's
then
not
I'm
drawn,
going.
it's still in the holster, mostly, partially.
Okay, if that is how you feel comfortable, and then I'm gonna look at the captain and say, "Does he know?"
He knows that things are off.
Right. I just
It's
spoke.
already over.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Right.
he had to leave before the briefing because Penn wasn't there, so literally everyone else knows more than Ryloff right now.
Yes, I understand that the captain is upset and wishes to see me.
Yes. I just spoke to Ven, Arlen, and Dr. Lazos. Lazos? The three nerds. They're working on a solution to our problem. I don't know if they will succeed in a timely manner, but I also wasn't fully comprehending what they were talking about.
Okay. I'm gonna go deal with the captain. I need you two to, with whatever resources you can, search for any quantum phase energy. Either in the ship, around the ship, or nearby.
Could someone first tell me what this issue is?
We
understand who's been
sort of
Starfleet
slid
for longer
around
than
our
I have.
dimensions a little bit. I think we're in the wrong timeline.
And how has this come to be? Because the last thing I recall was working with Commander Thralic aboard the Achilles in orbit.
Yeah, last
while
thing
you
I
were on a
remember
delay.
was being stabbed through the heart with a sword. So, you know.
What exactly happened in this away mission?
Everything went to shit. That's about it.
That is incredibly non-specific as to be entirely unhelpful.
But that is the most accurate statement I've got for you.
Look, the hows and the whys don't matter. The only thing that matters is returning things to their proper place. Captain, how would we go about searching for these quantum signatures?
Well, Mr. Ryloff would have the data from how quantum phase torpedoes would work. You can work back from there.
Internal
Okay.
security sweep should work. However, I didn't know this room existed, and if it wasn't here before, It
Also,
hasn't been picked up from sensors,
it's
or if it has, it's been repressed from even me.
yeah, it's not on the ship. So what you don't need to know what it is. It's not here.
If it's not on the ship, we're going to have significant issues in scanning while we're within this barrier.
Well, just see if you can find some equivalent or a thread of something. I can work with that.
Right.
I
And
can just
are you
bypass
sure you
our
do not want a calming presence while you speak with the captain?
Uh, no, I'm pretty sure she's not going to stab me through the heart. Again,
We should, however, get a move on.
agreed.
Yes.
Like I said, I'll head up there if you two want to start and investigate that. If you don't find anything, go help out as the counsellor put it, Team Nerd.
She requested you be escorted, and I would rather not throw more,
Well, I'll take the security detail.
if you wish that. Though that
You all notice the lights flicker and turn off. Emergency lighting clicks on, and you can hear creaking of the ship's hull caving just a little or so bit. Just a.
Oh, prophet save us. What's going on now?
Let's
And then all of
get
you
moving.
feel the ship come to a stop. Like there's this, it's almost like the inertial dampers didn't catch you in time, as if the inertial dampers aren't working as well as they used to anymore. So you kind of half stumble when the ship comes to a stop.
Probably best if we all get moving now.
Mm-hmm.
Just like start shuffling people out. Cause I'm not supposed to be
Yes.
here. Get out.
I am following Rylov's lead because I think he knows more about this than me.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So whom is going where?
I'm taking the security detail to see the captain.
Well, no, they're escorting you to see the captain.
Oh, you're just worried about them at the moment, or is it all of us?
Oh no, I'll get to you guys down there in a
Okay,
moment.
okay.
You're-
Okay, phaser array. Actually, are you any good at engineering?
I'm terrible at engineering. I do have a decent security though.
Right, well, we're going to go play with phasers.
All right. Well, I will be of the best help I can be.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are heading out toward the phaser array, is my
Yes.
understanding? Okay. I'll move you guys there for now. You guys are here. Boop. New scene, by the way. These guys aren't here. These people are. This can be smaller. We'll get to that in a moment. So, Cadet Ven, Lieutenant Arlen, Dr. Lazos. The three of you get into one of the workstations in main engineering, and you start getting set up. You start doing your preliminary work, and then that's when the creaking starts. And you hear a lot of people running around trying to reinforce the structural integrity field because the shields have failed.
That's not good.
I turn to Arlen and I say, I think we need to go dead in the water. We can't be moving if the shields aren't up.
Yeah.
Is Arlen here?
Arlen agrees. One sec, he says.
But he's okay. Then Lazarus will try to slow the ship down.
Give me control plus. Sorry, no, it's control. Control plus con. Difficulty of. That Plus that.
Can I argue for engineering? I'm not trying to navigate. I'm just trying to reduce power to the engines until we come to a stop.
Oh, okay. You're basically forcing the warp bubble to be unpowered, so the
Yeah.
ship has to fall out of warp.
And back.
Too late. You can't stop me.
Whoops.
Okay.
I have the wrong difficulties.
No, I was gonna help you with this. So
Control engineering. Actually, sorry. No, it's control. Control plus engineering. Would that affect anything? Would that affect? If anything, it would make it easier. Sorry, I got the completely wrong. That is difficulty of 1 because you're in the engineering room trying to get the engine to power down a little bit.
Focus and subspace mechanics, since I don't want to damage the ship, so I'm taking those principles into mind when slowing
Yeah.
us down.
I'll take that totally.
Hey, look at me. I get to fly a Starfleet ship for a second. Or unfly it.
General momentum. The ship as you fall out of warp.
Now, we could reroute all the ship's available power. We're not using anything for propulsion, so maybe we can reroute all the ship's available power to shields.
structural integrity or shields.
Structural integrity is a symptom, not the problem. But you're the engineer.
Let's shunt power to structural integrity, and then we'll bring shields up.
I have not enough places to put things. 1 second. No, you silly machine. Hold on. I was there. Okay. There. Fixed. All right. You are reinforcing which again? Sorry.
Structural integrity.
Okay. Control plus engineering, difficulty of 3, assisted by structure plus engineering. And actually brought down by 1 because you're doing an engineering roll in the engineering bay.
Hold on 1 second. Reload roll 20. There we go. Okay, fast thinker or limit pusher traits. Making this more effective and implementing it much faster.
I'll take limit pusher's more relevant to me, but that will pull it down to diff 1.
Cool. EPS system, since I'm rerouting power.
Yep.
Take threat. Where
There
were
you
you
go.
before?
So 5 momentum generated. You've reinforced the structural integrity field that the ship isn't going to be instantly crushed now.
Maybe spend to increase resistance.
Yeah. Can we spend the float to increase each ship's resistance?
You're buying more time. It's not a resistance issue. There's no roll here. The ship's just under immense pressure and damage. But you're forcing me to wait longer before I roll a challenge die again.
Okay, that works. Spend to buy more time.
Yeah, because that's essentially what you're trying to do.
And could I also spend in some momentum since I was rerouting power? Could I reroute power to the RCS thrusters to possibly push us back from wherever we're headed?
I'll let you have the advantage that while you were rerouting power, you found some extra power you could tilt into the RCS system without
Okay.
compromising the EPS grid. It's like, oh, I have more power than I actually need to reinforce. Well, I might as well put it somewhere. I'll put it into the RCS thrusters. Maybe Khan will do something with that.
Yeah, basically advantage on con.
Yeah. All right. So structural integrity field stabilized for now. Now what? You're currently dead in the water in the middle of a anomaly that is slowly but surely going to crush the ship.
Hopefully that bought us time to do the research.
Well, better do some fast math. Because I'm can't be sure how long this is gonna hold up.
Yeah, start looking into ways we know. If we know any way to, I mean, I think it's going to end up being a scientific method, right?
It depends.
Well, because we know what we need to do. I just don't know that it's ever been done before, so I don't know if we can ask to do it a way that's been done. Right? We need to stop the breakdown of the barriers, but I don't know that anyone's done that before.
I will permit you guys to roll insight plus engineering difficulty of 3.
Subspace mechanics.
Yeah.
Technical insight?
Yeah. Then you can assist if you like. You are in the room.
I'm gonna give you 3 momentum.
Sure.
Hey, Fen, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah.
Do you want me to assist with this?
Yes, please.
Okay,
What more assist, most better.
got it. I do not have a focus for this. Why did you want me to roll?
I offered you could.
Um,
And 13 is a pretty good number for a person without a focus.
so I know what we're gonna be covering on Monday.
What,
Wait.
spent to squash?
Yeah.
But we gained 3, so we'll spend 2 of what we gained.
Oh,
Or
we
gained
gained 4.
4.
Yes, I was taking that into account.
Yeah. So there are 2 ways to do this. One is accessible, one isn't. But the reason you don't have to do scientific method is because you are aware that the Alcarans were messing with dimensional bending of reality, and that's possibly what had to do with what happened on Okara. So you could now, if you were at that planet, that would be the easy answer. Ask the Alcarans to fix it because they probably have the tech to do it. But as far as the Achilles on its own, if you dump every ounce of power into the deflector dish and basically try to reinforce that barrier, you could stabilize, force it to kind of stabilize, but like sort of help repair it, help shore it up a bit. The problem you're facing, and this is the part where you there's no real scientific method that could tell you exactly this, but something's causing this effect. Something is shaving the barriers down. All you could do is shore it up and buy yourself even more time to work on it.
Is it
But something's
Gozer the
causing this
Gozerian?
effect.
What was your question?
I was making a joke. Someone
Okay.
punching through barriers. Gozer the Gozerian from Ghostbusters.
So, yeah, I'm thinking we could, the the walls of the castle are breaking down, and we could park our little cart in front of it temporarily to keep the enemy out, but that's not a long-term solution. So, perhaps instead we look at how to get to Alcara.
Yeah, because if something's tearing through hyperspace, I don't think we have the means of staving off that attack.
Then let's brainstorm about known ways, even if they're dangerous, that we can quickly, temporally, or quantumly displace ourselves towards Alcara.
The GM can tell you a rate for free. Go to warp 10.
You need an engine. You need an engine capable of doing that, though.
I mean,
Become
like the
lizard.
warp
you
10
didn't say
engine had. Oh, go ahead.
You didn't say safe. I just said you could do it. You might blow apart the ship in the attempt, but
Become
you could
lizard.
go warp
Well,
10.
no. What I'm
lizard.
I guess what I'm asking is, it's like I want to make sure I'm not asking to go 300 miles an hour in a VW bug. Like the engine simply is not capable of that. No matter how reckless you are with driving down the road, I want to make sure first that this engine could even theoretically achieve that.
If someone redlined the engines, it's possible. If you ignored all the safety measures and bypassed
that
them,
would solve our problem, because we would not be going faster. We would simply be moving ourselves to every point in time and choosing to coalesce at Alcara.
that's the hope. Yeah. I mean, theoretically, that should work because, yeah, you're right. You wouldn't be going any faster. You would just simply be displacing yourself. I say simply, but
Yeah, I start writing up the math for this and kind of, pop it over to Arlen's console and kind of look inquisitively, not saying the thing which should not be said.
What does this say?
These are the beginning stages of the equations we need to handle to get your ship to warp 10 for an infinitely small period of time, but
I think in warp 10 infinity is just implied.
Lazos kind of goes, "Oh yeah," and looks back and writes some stuff down and makes a few changes, and he's like, "You're right. That helps. Yeah."
Infinite velocity, infinite small time, infinite in distance covered, infinite energies.
All right.
I'm trying so hard to hide my I giddiness, but I'm super happy to pull this off.
So, first off, I think your ship is capable of it. So, we're going to have to increase the rate of matter-antimatter reactions. and every ounce is going to count, so you're going to have to shut off most of the rest of the ship's systems.
And yeah, we probably want to let the captain know we want to pull this off. But if we can prove the math that we can do this, can I run over the numbers really quick just to verify that yes, our ship systems can handle that amount of power, even briefly?
On paper, theoretically, yes.
Okay.
Mechanically, to tell you the numbers, you're looking at let's see.
Diff 7, Comp 22.
Well, we're not there yet. So to even get the engine set up the way you need someone with the talent of past the red line, which you have. And to even get it set up, you need to hit the daring engineering difficulty 5. And that gets the engine set up to be at warp 10 for an amount of time. Now, knowing the talent, the downside of pushing your engine that hard. Complications increase. Then someone has now that you have the engine set up to do what you want it to do, you need a pilot to fly the ship somehow and stop it at a planet that technically the ship's never been to, but you theoretically know where it is. So they'd be looking at a daring con roll difficulty of 5, complication range of 5, assisted engines plus con. Actually, this is warp 10.
I was
So
going to argue for science instead of con.
Well, someone has to fly the ship and pilot where you need to go.
Well, I'm thinking you don't necessarily need to fly, you just need to know where you want to come out, right? You need to calculate the place you want to end, because you're not traveling there. You're not going from A to B. You're going everywhere and then deciding the place you want to end up is B.
I mean, we do have a pilot for it if needed.
We do, but we really don't want to include people we don't want to include.
So a daring plus con or science roll, difficulty of 7, assisted by engines con, complication range of 5.
All right, then.
Well, it'd be comp 5 because of past the red line, because past the red line increases your comp range, so it just maxes it out.
Yeah, I'll look at Arlen and say we should not inform your captain, because your captain doesn't want necessarily to get us to the place we need to be, right? We don't know if they would prefer to be here in this reality or in the correct reality. The only people we can trust are the people who were on that away mission. If you need permission of a captain, then I suggest the one that was on the away mission, not the one who's currently called captain.
Well,
Okay.
I did technically put inform a captain.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't taking that into account. I was from Lazarus's perspective. No one can be trusted except for the 5 of us, because they may have ulterior motives to keep this reality existing. She may not like the idea of us fixing the actual problem if it means she's not a captain, she's a commander now, or she's dead because in that reality she died, so we can't really take her word on it.
Arlen to Pend.
And we cut over to elsewhere on the ship. Oh.
New scene?
Yeah. Rylov and Aza, you have entered into one of the phaser control rooms.
He's not here.
Boy,
Oh, yeah.
no, I on my phone, so I can't actually roll anything, but
I can roll for
I
your
can get
character.
someone else to do it for me. Yeah. So hi, I'm here.
So, what are Ryloff and Asa doing in here?
Right. So theoretically, if we get the modify the phaser array to fire a negative energy pulse or beam, we can clear enough of a path in the barrier currently around us to get more scans that actually give us positive results of, rather than just you're in an energy field. That's the intent here.
Right.
So modifications, let's go. We need to
So-
play with that and invert a couple things.
So one person needs to be at the control console, make sure the computer understands what it's getting. One person actually needs to crawl into the phaser array system and physically reconfigure the array.
I'm guessing one of those is an engineering role and the other one isn't.
They'd be the person at the computers is rolling control security. Security. Actually, no. They're looking stuff up. What am I doing? Reason. No, it's control. I was right because you're reconfiguring. I'm smart. Difficulty of 3. The person inside is doing daring plus security. Difficulty of 4.
Ryloff's
Both of
opting to
those
crawl
rolls have to
inside.
succeed to pull it off.
Yeah. The second you start talking about crawling inside, suddenly Asa is going to be, I'm old, you're young, please do that.
That is an interesting excuse, but yes, I will crawl inside to do the
Interesting excuse.
connections.
I don't know how things are in Romulus, but on Bejor, you were not allowed to talk like that.
To a Romulan, you're not that old.
Just
For a
please crawl in the
long-lived
vent.
race. Yes, Lieutenant Commander.
All right. I can go first.
Yeah, sure, go for it.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Control security diff 3, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Don't think I have a focus here. I also don't even think I have value. I almost melted value. So you know what?
What?
All right. 3 threat to roll 4 dice, and then 3 threat to roll 5 dice.
So
Did you mean
you're
free
giving me
moment?
6 threat to roll 5 dice.
I'm sorry. I worked a very long shift tonight. I meant
Free
3
momentum.
momentum and then 3 threat. Yeah, I'm very sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I thought I just completely misheard that. I'm just sitting here going like, what?
Yeah, it did come out as free threat, then 3 threat.
I was like, you mean 6? Are you testing me?
Basic arithmetic.
Yeah, come on, young'un. Know your mathematics.
They're old, they forget sometimes.
Oh, it's all right. So yeah, one momentum was generated from that. So computer-wise, the phasers will not incinerate Rylov while he's crawling around in there.
Oh,
Rylov.
I will give him the thumbs up.
Rylov, you're looking at at 15. With the focus because it's tactical.
Yeah.
None of your talents apply. Well, bold security applies.
Well, yeah, typically does. I don't think any of my traits apply in this particular case.
No, they'll apply if you screw this roll up.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, survivor. Yeah. So tactical systems, because this is messing around with those as a focus.
Yep.
What are our mission directives anyway?
They're pens.
They are prime directive: get to the Alcara system, uphold Starfleet traditions and best practices.
Okay. I'd make an argument for uphold Starfleet traditions and best practices in that if we are displaced in terms of what is our reality, this is a, as far as we're aware, minimal impact means of attempting to find the problem and get back to where we're supposed to be.
Decent argument. I'd take it.
Okay. So that, and did I have, no, I don't have the medal for roll challenge dice and say, haha, you don't get threat. I've got the medal for I'm taking damage. Oof, I'm going to take half as much. I'm remembering this from memory, so we'll give you, what's the difficulty I'm supposed to hit?
4.
4.
4. We'll give you, how much momentum do we have?
1.
1. How much threats on the board?
22.
Ah. Okay. So I just need to hit 2, really. I'll give you a momentum and a threat.
Okay.
And we'll roll 3 die with the determination, yeah. And I've got veteran.
Veteran. Rolling for veteran. You're not farter. Well, I'm not farter. But you did roll a total of 4 successes, plus the 2 that you got from determination, for a grand total of 6 hits. So yeah.
Yeah.
You have
like
reconfigured the phasers to no longer hurt, but is very good at firing negative energy beams and carving holes in energy fields.
And the brilliant part about this is that we've heard a certain lieutenant of security asking the captain for permission to do this thing so that we could scan. So he can just come to the bridge, and it's Lieutenant Dreben, or is it Ensign Dreben? Sorry. The phasers are configured. Firing patterns can be established to allow for proper scanning around the vessel at this time.
This is the bridge. Wouldn't we need to fire the phasers and carve that hole first before we did the scans?
That's why I'm saying firing patterns can be established.
My mistake, sir. Sorry.
See, getting back talk isn't very nice.
I'm a Romulan. I'm used to it. Okay, Lieutenant Rylov out. I'll be on the bridge shortly. Lieutenant Commander, I believe you might be of best use going to find the others.
And what would you propose we do with them?
Airlock.
Well, you apparently know more about the ongoing situation than I do. If we find anything with these scans, once I fire the weapons and have them follow through with scans from the bridge, I will let you know. And the commander and anyone else that is needed to know. Everyone in the briefing room?
I think just everyone in the briefing room except for the captain.
Understood. Well, let's get on that then before we get crushed.
Yes. That would be the preferable course of action.
suppose getting crushed is better than getting sucked into a collapsing singularity.
Yes,
Collapsing
by
singularity still crush you? I don't actually know.
Singularities
From a
rip
certain
you
point of view,
apart.
if we must talk about this, the best way to die is probably the one that is the least painful and the least damaging to your soul. So probably being crushed and not being sent into a singularity.
I imagine they're walking and talking about this, by the way.
And away. And elsewhere we go to Captain Pend being, Commander Pend being escorted to Captain Jaishu's off ready room.
I'll mute again, just so I'm not making random noises, because there's cars. I don't know if you can hear those. I apologize for any random noises.
Surprisingly, no.
Oh.
Alright, gents, I've got it from here as he chimes the bell.
Yep. Come in.
Captain?
Commander, what exactly were you doing in the part of the ship you're in rather than attending to the meeting?
Oh, you mean the quantum phase room? Yeah. Mind if I take a seat?
Go ahead.
Would you like to know the truth, or would you actually want me to come up with an elaborate story?
You could try the truth and see how it wears on you. Be a first for you, but I'm willing to hear you out.
Let's see how it goes. Myself, and a few others seem to be out of sync. Not exactly from this timeline, shall we say. We're very similar, just slightly off. We were heading to Alcara as well. Something's happened and sent us back to just before, with slight differences. Yeah, that's fair.
To convince her of what you're saying is true, it's going to be a difficulty of 2, presence command. As you're detailing out what's going on.
Directive 3?
Yeah. I mean, technically, she is the captain of the ship, and you are supposed to keep them informed. It's like, I'm not lying to you. I'm actually trying to tell you what's going on.
Any traits you wish to use or abuse?
I think your cybernetic lay gives you a penalty because she's an ableist. No.
Yeah, that's fair.
No,
Ooh.
I shouldn't have laughed. I'm sorry.
No, they deserve. Those jerks deserve to be laughed at. But Tiger Narendra is going to help you here. It's going to bring the diff down by 1. You have even in this timeline, you have a good reputation behind you that's helping her believe your wild stories. Because you've been through some wild stuff in Narendra.
That's fair. I'll use my medal to roll 1 challenge dice for threat. Yes, I am being petty.
Challenge die. There you go.
And I'll spend the momentum to go with that. Yeah, now it works. You petty little bastard.
Well, he's a Tellarite. You have to keep things small.
Oh, of course.
Short jokes. Those never get old.
So that's 5 on a diff 1, so we gain 4.
Yeah, it's hard to outgrow a short joke.
Oh, boo.
You have to be careful. They might go over some people's heads.
So, all right, Commander. So, all right. Well, that explains why people are crawling around, messing with the phasers to bore holes through things, having secret meetings on the ship, and why no one is giving me straight answers. So, that explains all that.
Well, in our
And
slightly alternate, this is my ship.
He had permission from her to mess with the phasers.
Yeah. But yeah,
I'm gonna say that.
she's talking about something else going on.
but yeah, it's in our slightly different. This is my ship. You're a commander who's on this ship. That crystal that should be in that room, of which it isn't. And yeah, we're also missing an admiral who should be here, who's Alcaran.
Well, we don't have a terrible lot of time to discuss this, but look, I'll help you get back to your reality or timeline or whatever it is, but right now the ship is about to be crushed by the hyperspace. If we don't get out of here, it won't matter where or when you're from. You'll be dead along with the rest of us.
Oh,
I presume.
oh, don't worry, we're not working against you. The others are working on a solution. I was looking towards a more using the quantum phase crystal in a fun and unique ways to maybe assist us, but it's not aboard the ship.
It should be on board the ship.
It's not in the room. I was just there.
Things. How does a crystal light just vanish?
Well, it's technically a phase crystal.
So it phased out of existence then?
It could have. I've got some people looking into quantum phase energy if it's around us. So there's a possibility, but we may have to rely on the engineering department to figure this one out. Oh, inappropriate.
And that's when someone seems to starts playing your guitar. Some individual in a Starfleet-looking uniform is kind of plucking away at your guitar, playing some song or some folk song from Earth or another.
Oh, before whoever that is interrupts us, I was going to ask you an inappropriate question, but sure, let's deal with the new guy. Who are you and why are you playing my guitar, please?
He sets down the guitar.
Oh, I haven't heard this one in a while.
He steps away from it, and now that he's facing towards you, you, as a command officer, recognize the uniform of the Time Fleet, who are centuries ahead of you, but you've been informed about the Starfleet equivalent of Time Fleet, basically.
Oh, what
So it's not necessarily the Federation.
What did the temporal fleet want?
Well, Captain, I regret to inform you that someone has been fooling around with time travel in your bit of space-time and has endangered not only you, but the entirety of the galaxy in all timelines.
Fun?
And I'm here to inform you, Captain Jaishu, that through the efforts of the crew that have temporarily been displaced onto your ship will be able to find its way out of here and contact the Alcarans, at which point you'll go on your merry way and you will, frankly, forget this conversation. Well, your crew will. You will be required to forget it. As for you, Captain Pend, we have a mission for you and your crew. Normally, we wouldn't involve people of the timeline quite so closely, but you're the ones that are the closest to the target and can get to him, and also have some strange awareness of the fact that you're temporarily displaced.
Not the first time.
He approaches a bit closer. She just kind of stands out of her chair and kind of lightly grips the Ushan that's on the table.
It's
But she doesn't pull it off. She just looks like she's not pleased with him just popping into her office like this.
Don't worry, Josh, you get used to it.
The time officer just kind of puts his hands up, like, oh, and he stops moving closer, like, okay, message received. Pend, I am going to require, sorry, I'm being rude, Captain Pend, I'm going to require you and your band of time-traveling officers to detain and curtail the efforts of one Admiral Trailblazer. Because it occurs to us that he has taken it upon himself to use the U.S.S. Victoria to save his homeworld, which has created this timeline. Which, on its own, is already a temporal violation. Already endangered this crew. But it's also, through some side effect that he has not calculated for, imperiled the entire galaxy and all timelines. Because Alcarans, that's what they do. Since your crew is already within the barrier, you won't give off any signals that anything's wrong. However, if you do need support, you will need to get him or your ship, preferably both, honestly, outside of the barrier so we can temporarily jump to where you are and take him into custody.
I wondered where he went.
Now, I imagine you already have had the song and dance once or twice, but just in case your memory has faded, you will have to keep the mission details to your group and minimize any records of this under the Temporal Prime Directive. The least amount of people that know this, the better. But if you need to loop them in with as minimal information as possible. That just makes the temporal investigation after this a lot easier for everyone. And if you tell too many people, we'll have some rather complicated calculations to keep the Achilles from vibrating itself out of existence in the time stream. That's not a threat, that's just simple fact of what's likely to happen. It might not happen, but better to be safe than sorry.
No, I agree. I'm just looking forward to go back to the timeline where I get stabbed through the heart again. Yay!
You what? And Jaishu just completely forgets what's going on. She just stares at you and she looks visibly upset.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't want you to die. What the hell? He's not dying. Send me instead. That's not how this works, Captain Jaishu. You need to stay here for your crew.
Also, Jaishu, your pen will still be here. probably a little confused of what's been happening, but you'll be fine.
Give me a presence command roll, difficulty 2. You get one free hit from the time officer who is explaining, no, really, he's right. Everything's technically fine.
Yeah, I'll give you a threat.
Sure.
Do it increase the complications for shits and giggles?
Nah, I'm good. You're able to convince her of this, and she kind of calms down and kind of just takes a seat in her chair, just sort of a little overwhelmed at the moment, but she just kind of nods.
Hey, you think you're unhappy? My judge, she's gonna be pissed.
Damn right I am. Aren't I? The time officer shrugs, like, I don't know.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But, yeah, I assume you can get me within some proximity of him?
Well, to minimize the amount of impact on the timeline, I'm going to need to jump you right back to where you last recalled before the temporal shift. And you will have to get back to the ship and detain him. That way he doesn't know, because that trailblazer is too far down to know that he's going to time travel. Because if I move you up to where he actually is going to do it, then he's going to know immediately that you've been sent by us.
Understood. I'll need if I remember correctly, Lieutenant Rylov is on the bridge with him in my timeline. So
Yes.
I'll inform him of what he needs to do and what he can do to make it happen. Whilst I'm currently being dragged off a planet.
All right. So what I'll do then, I'm going to need, once you have called in your away team, as it were, and inform them that they're about to be transported, so they don't do anything rash, like try to keep themselves from being transported, I will temporarily beam you into a room where you can discuss and plan your attack, and then once you're ready, I'll be in the room with you to clarify what I'm allowed to clarify. But we can plan further from there. I just needed to make sure that you understood what was going on and had to measure whether or not you had developed any sort of temporal psychosis yet. Which, good sign, you haven't. So, silver linings.
Well, some people think I'm already psychotic at the best of times, so you're okay.
Yes.
Yes, you are, says Jaishu, but she smirks at that.
Let's look over to Jaishu. Captain, could you ask Mr. Rylov, the Counselor Isa, Dr. Lazos, Lieutenant Arlen, and Cadet Ven to come here, please? Or to the conference room.
She sends out the message. Does anyone not heed Jaishu's request to gather at the conference room?
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't work with her because she's gonna want to preserve a time that we can't preserve. That's why we wanted to call Pinned.
Disobeying instructions raises suspicion, so hey. Rylov's going is for that reason. That's why he was mostly playing along, quietly.
Yeah, and I think Arlen did try to come up to Pend.
Yeah, I was gonna come up and say, hey, I have a stupid idea. How much duct tape can you give me?
Lieutenant Arlen, I need you to pass that whatever idea you have off to the other engineers there, and for the 3 or whoever else remembers to report to the conference room. We have a solution.
Oh.
That's disappointing. I wanted to pull it off.
I wanted to go warp 10.
Don't make me
Well,
come
You
down
wanted to
there.
be a salamander.
We can still do it. You can take off the comm badge and we can still do it.
I could disobey.
Don't make me come down there, boy.
But I want to see what this thing does when we hit 88 miles an hour.
We're
We'll
gonna see some serious shit.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Phaser is so
Okay.
nasty.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna copy the notes though. Can I
You
spend
can
a
totally
little-
do that.
have a- Yep, I want a
Yeah.
copy of the notes.
Totally.
Well,
So in time, everyone gathers together because eventually Asa kind of runs into people going the other way.
yeah, I'd just say to Jaishu before heading out to meet the rest of them, I would give you a kiss goodbye, but that would be cheating on myself.
The time officer opens his mouth and then thinks better of it and shuts it.
He knows what he's saying.
He's being a smartass, is what Pend does.
Wait, when has Ben ever been a smartass?
When has he ever not been a smartass?
But,
Hence the sarcastic tone.
The time officer steps out, Captain Jaishu steps out, and Penn steps out.
so, any data or solutions you have which should be passed to the captain and their engineering team, they can implement it and succeed. The rest of us will be going with our new friend here, and I'll explain once we've moved to our new location.
Red then looks nervously at Dr. Lazos, the counselor, and Arlen.
Asa is just gonna like shrug and say, "Yes, sir."
Exactly who is our new friend here?
I'll explain when we get to our new location.
So this is gonna fix everything?
I'll explain when we get to our new location.
New location,
Wow.
red tape.
The rest of the people here are duty bound to follow orders. I'm under no such compulsion. I would like to know what's going on.
In short, Doctor, the timeline has been compromised, and I require U.S.S to fix it.
And under what authority do you make that requirement of me?
If you wish to excuse yourself from it, we can wipe your memory of this encounter, and your current timeline self will be unaware of the events going around you. However, I would think that you would want to have some agency in the fate of your timeline, given your understanding of temporal mechanics.
I might, but it would be nice if Starfleet asked for once instead of just doing.
I am asking, and I'm not Starfleet. You don't have to go on this temporal mission. They have to for under Starfleet regulations. But you, I'm asking. Technically, the cadet can say no too, but I think he's a bit of a go-getter.
He looks like he's about to say something, and then he realizes, no, he's right,
But,
and doesn't.
was that one of the, oh, I can get out? Oh, shit.
I want the extra credit, though.
Yeah, it's like...
Our understanding, Doctor, as well, and the reason I want you along is that I believe that Admiral Trailblazer has somehow interacted with the Iconian technology on his homeworld to enact his temporal chicanery.
I look at Arlen very intently. I have a visor, so it's not like I can make a mean face, but
I don't know. I think Lazos manages. Can't see the
are
eyes,
we
but you can
learning
tell
our
they get
lessons?
bored.
Yeah, be more careful what you poke it with.
If it's Iconian, don't poke it.
No, just poke it carefully.
I will brief you in further detail, but for now, this timeline needs its people back, so they can save their ship. If you would gather around me, I will temporarily shift your current consciousnesses into a holding area where I can go into more detail without endangering this timeline. And then, once we've made our decisions, I will transport you to your correct timeline, or correct relative to you, anyway.
Penny.
Hazel just moves right next to him.
The shifting our consciousness thing gets like a few blinks, to say the least. Like the whole the Romulan cultural thing of your mind is like your own thing. That's like the only thing that's your own. And this guy's like, yeah, we can just move it around. He's like,
I'm not comfortable with this.
Again, Ven also looks uncomfortable, but he unlike Rylov, he ain't gonna say anything.
Yeah, can I like try to read some of his emotions and try to tell, like, do I like feel like this guy has my interests in his heart, or is this guy exploiting us? That at least in terms of vibe, that's what I'm trying to read off of him.
Insight medicine difficulty 2. He's not making a great effort to hide his emotions, but you still have to piece together his mannerisms and so on.
He's also from the future, so
Yeah.
a focus in psychiatry or empathy.
Empathy.
All right. It's Civ 2, so I will spend 1 momentum. And I said the right thing this time.
Yeah, generate momentum. He is more concerned with a higher purpose than you in particular. He's concerned about you, but he's concerned about something else. So there's this sense of you're not quite cannon fodder, but the war is more important than the infantry, is the kind of mindset he seems to be having. You're a means to an end.
Sounds a lot like cannon fodder.
But he's actually deploying the cannon fodder appropriately, as opposed to just throwing it at the cannons and hoping everything goes well.
Okay. I will nod and say I'm willing to follow your lead then, sir.
As a scientific test, I would like to try to slyly take a pad from the table with me when we go.
Okay. You grab a pad.
Yeah, the pad's not coming with us. But yeah.
Who gathers around the time officer? I know Asa did.
Yeah. Pendwell, just gonna walk past Jaisha and like just mouth like see you later, kid.
He calls his girlfriend kid. Weird.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
So we do this, yes, and everyone on the ship is safe. Back in our timeline.
Should the mission succeed, yes. I'm not gonna lie to you, Arlen. It's an away mission like any other. There's always room for error. Even when there shouldn't be. But I assure you that we are doing everything we can because, frankly, we have to.
Yeah, well, the fun part is always on the edge of those error bars, right? I'm coming.
You're buried by books.
Here. Yeah. I'm coming.
Boop. 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 These people gathered around in the red room, in the conference room, just kind of feel a little dizzy for a second. Kind of, you all look at each other. Jashu looks around.
Does she have captain's pips?
She has captain's pips, and Lazos is kind of confused why he's holding a pad for some reason. And all these people realize that they have things to do and they need to save the ship, and they rush off to do their thing. Because these are this timeline's Lazos penned and so on.
Oh, okay.
But that will be it for now.